Just comb your hair, go and wash your face. It's been a real long time since you've seen the light of day. So let thoughts come as they may, beauty and parade. Everybody all smiles when you're back in the seat again. All aboard the petty express to a beautiful darkness. It's full steam ahead to ride the rails to our next destination. Yeah!
So welcome back, you guys, to the Petty Express, your conductress Mo, with all the snark and maybe a little bit of recharging thanks to Coke Zero, because honestly, I swear to goodness, but I am more confused right now than I was at the start of this trial. The state's star witness is looking like the Hindenburg, and I mean, it's going down in flames. Now, I will say that Hosanna, I believe, has the biggest talent for being felony adjacent. If you've noticed in every single one of these, like, yeah, I was there, she's felony adjacent, but she's not actually committing the crime. So this is Sarah and I were chatting about this, and I was like, you know what we need instead of pre-crime? We just send, Hosanna into felonious areas and she can point out all the felonies. I mean, forget having officers go undercover. We just send Hosanna in there, and apparently everyone felonies right next to her. That being said, dear God, please finish with this witness, because between Penny Problem Voice and this witness, I am going to lose my sanity. Look, this is not the vocal duo that we should come back on a mega ultra Monday, daylight savings time to boot. This is not the chick we should have started with. Now, I believe she's looking at Facebook messages from the man that Stacy beat up. I don't know, y'all, I'm lost as to where we're going with this whole everything. Very slowly.
May I approach?
Yes, go ahead.
Is your memory refreshed now, ma'am?
Yes.
And so, again, the point of this is we can only rely on the screenshots that you took, right?
Right.
And so when we're talking about whether or not Ms. Rodriguez didn't let you move a finger, we actually also have Facebook messages, at least this one, that seems to suggest you guys were going out in two different locations on November 6, 2021, right?
Right.
In fact, you're making plans about going with your sister, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And Stacy's telling you, quote, have fun, right?
Right.
She's not telling you, don't you dare leave my side or else I'm going to kill you, right?
Right.
She's telling you to just essentially go out with your sister, go to Fuzzy's, go have a good time.
Right.
And actually, you were telling her, quote, you fucking piss me off, right? And you fucking piss me off. And you're saying that in the context because she's like, I think I'm going to try to go do my own thing tonight.
Yeah. She was just mad.
She wasn't the one saying that. You were saying that.
Yeah, I said that.
You were saying that because she said, I need something to do, TN, which means tonight.
Right.
And you got fucking pissed, is your language, at her, right?
Right. I just think I just know how she.
Wait, so which one's the bad guy? I don't know what I'm supposed to. I don't know who I'm supposed to be rooting for. I honestly don't. It's like when Stan, Kyle, and Kenny, had to vote for a giant douche or a turd sandwich, and they're like, look, I don't feel like voting at all, given those choices. Yeah, I feel like she would have been better if she had just taken the Theodore Edgecombe. I have taken responsibility for my actions. I acted in self-defense, and can you repeat that question? Honestly, she would have come out looking better had she just used the Edgecombe sort of method for answerology. He really should write a book like that. I'm just saying, could you imagine in sort of a hostage situation, like they ask you something and you're like, I have accepted responsibility for my actions. And then if that doesn't work, you say, I acted to defend myself. And if those two don't work, then you just ask, can you repeat that? I was in shock. And you might not get out of the interrogation unscathed, but you won't give them any information. And, isn't that the point?
Is, and she would test me on things. And obviously my sister didn't like Stacy, and I was still trying to invite Stacy out. I didn't want her to feel left out because I knew how she would react.
That's why you say to Stacy, quote, on November 6, 2021, quote, all I want to do is be with you, and you act so fucking stupid.
Right? I was just
You're calling her
telling
fucking stupid, right?
Yeah,
She's not calling you fucking stupid.
not right there, no.
And you even said,
I give up. I give up. I say they're both guilty. At this point, as the jurist, I don't know what I think. I mean, maybe Stacy, yeah, I don't understand where this is context to. Again, if this lawyer was trying to, point out that I think she's pointed out that she had plenty of times where she was not next to Stacy, that she could have gone to the cops or done anything, even if she was afraid. I don't think harping on, especially without a lot of context, makes sense. I don't think, also, even if she was in the right, bringing up that your client who is being accused of murder, laid hands on someone else out at a bar, again, while she's underage. I just don't know how any of this is all in all good.
in the next message, fuck you.
Right.
You sure didn't seem afraid that she was going to kill you then?
I mean, to be fair, I might say that, but in my defense, autocorrect always makes it duck you, so,
All right.
No.
All right, Bender, I'll let you out.
And also show you it's been marked as defendant's exhibit QQA and QQB. And I've previously shown the prosecution.
QQ, okay,
QQA and then QQB.
okay.
Tammy, you have not missed much other than apparently they just cursed at each other.
And ma'am, to help orient you, stapled to each screenshot is again the metadata. Okay, and it's on the second page of both exhibits.
Thank you, Zach, for the super chat. And I will have you all know that I did collate all my stuff for taxes. Now, throughout the year, like I'm supposed to, that would be a negative Night Rider. But today, in one day, by my own self, sort of, yes.
Ma'am, do you recognize what those are?
Yeah.
And those are again more screenshots of that you took of particular Facebook conversations between you and Ms. Rodriguez, right?
Yes.
And you know that because again, you took them, right?
Right.
And they're fair and accurate depictions of the screenshots that you took, right?
Right.
At this time, I move to make QQA and QQB.
Any objection?
No.
All right,
Okay, so are we thinking a motorcycle with a sidecar as her tattoo, or I don't know, that's what I'm getting. I see a motorcycle and a sidecar, but I'm pretty sure it's not a motorcycle and a sidecar. But that's what I'm getting from her arm tattoo. It's probably like the Virgin Mary or something, and I'm over here thinking it's a motorbike. That being fair. And thank you, Sarah, for your super chat. I really like Zach. He made me snort. He doesn't do that to me too, but mostly like, yeah, I'm pretty sure something is spelled that way, not the way I think it is. To be fair, a lot of words are not spelled the way I think they are. Which is why I suck at spelling.
the court will admit those exhibits into evidence and you may publish at your discretion.
It's not War and Peace. How long does it take you to read a daggone internet conversation? It's not like you guys use real words. You use like for the word for and Eva instead of ever. So how long does it take you to read your own daggone text messages?
QQA and QQB. You have the actual metadata out front of you, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell the jury the date that both of these were created or modified?
Well, the created was 10:19 and the captured time was 10:05.
Can I approach her to point her the criteria?
I'm sorry, Miss
Point her to the
Jackson.
right area.
Yes.
I am for real. Never meant to make your daughter cry. I apologize a million times. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Actually, I would much prefer watching a trial over I'm sorry, Miss Jackson than whatever we're
Both of these
watching right
say
now.
are 10-5, correct?
Yeah.
And what's the year?
2021.
So this was a couple days after Mr. Dickerson's death, right?
Right.
And here you're telling Ms. Rodriguez, I'm so fucking pissed, I want to
sorry.
cry.
Right.
Right? I swear to God, if she's your little bitch and Stacy's telling you WTFF LMFAO, right?
Right.
And you again reiterate to her, I feel like fucking crying how fucking pissed I am, right?
Right.
And in the next one on QQB, again, you call whoever you're talking about, or let me take it back. You say, I'm literally not playing. And Stacy is again is saying WTF, right?
Right.
And you say, my face is red right now. Red spelled with 3 Ds.
Right.
And RN meaning right now. And again, Stacy's laughing some more, right?
Right.
And you say,
I mean, at this point, I'm on Stacy's side. Stacy's got it going on. She's all the felonies, right? With Hosanna on. Look, I'll figure it out, but Stacy's, what is going on here? And why are we talking about, hey, she's average size, LOL, just kidding, just kidding. I'm playing, laughing my flippin' A off. And then she's over here like, I am crying. And how was this your star witness state? Please explain this to me. What about this woman's testimony you're like, we gotta have it? Sir, you're a snappy dresser. I'm going to need you, state prosecutor, to figure this one out, because what the actual flippin' flapjack were you thinking?
quote, she a fucking dumb ass little bitch, right?
Right.
And again,
I don't
there's
know
more
her,
of this you
but
really being angry
possibly.
and Stacy just kind of laughing things off,
Right.
right?
Well, she's baby Joker. I can't with this woman.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot today, right?
Yeah.
And I appreciate you answering
No.
and taking the
To be fair, you talked a lot, lawyer lady. This woman just kind of grunted and, yeah, nah. I mean, honestly, it's like when Mr. Mo is trying to talk to me about cars, and I just kind of revert into thinking about if, they made a live action of My Little Pony, would they cast Prancies, which I guess would be, in my mind, furries that dress up as horses, unless they have their own separate subgenre. And not bronies, but prancies. Anywho, I don't know if those are a thing, but that's what I start thinking about when Mr. Mo starts talking about cars, which would explain why I got synthetic oil in my car.
time to go through all these questions. And I know Mr. Pirelli is going to get back and ask you some questions. But I just want to finish up today, at least this portion, with you and talking about your proffer agreement. Okay. As we heard, you were promised by these DAs that you could essentially come back and ask Judge V. Hill to reduce your 32-year sentence depending on how you testified today and yesterday.
Part of my deal?
Yes.
Yes.
And so
I mean, I'm looking forward, and I don't see that he's going to take much time off of your sentence, so I think we're all good. I mean, you have not even been all the way close to true-ish half of this.
you are well aware, that whether or not you get less than 32 years depends on your testimony, right?
Right.
Because the specific agreement that we saw from the prosecution just says that the prosecutors won't object to the untimely 35B request.
Right.
And a 35B is a motion that your attorneys can file to ask Judge Vigil to reduce your sentence.
Right.
And you know that normally the law says you only have 126 days to file that from the time you were sentenced.
Right.
And now it's over that, right?
Right.
And so basically the prosecution is saying, we will agree that that law doesn't matter, and that after you're done testifying, you can ask Judge Vigil to reduce your sentence.
Right.
But only if it is a truthful and complete testimony,
Oh,
right?
no.
Right.
And that, again, is their truth, right?
No.
Do you think, ma'am,
Look, if there was one for Diet Pop, I would. Yes, can we increase her sentence just because the jury had to sit here and listen? And can we also accuse the defense attorney for our, hurting our audio systems?
that they're going to be okay with asking for a reduction of the sentence if you come in here and tell everyone that Ms. Rodriguez acted in self-defense?
I'm telling the truth.
That's not what I asked. I said, do you think that they would uphold their end of the agreement if you came in here and said that?
I mean, no, because then I would be lying.
And again, going back to where we first started the very conversation, your ability to get home to those little kids that we heard depends on what you say today, right?
Right.
And as a mother, you're going to say and do whatever you can to get home to your kids.
I don't like this attack. I like her showing she's a liar by showing the wallet and the gift cards that she said were stolen by Stacy. I think this is much better. This leading is allowed during cross, but she's been not so much leading as testifying for her.
Right?
Not say I'm here to tell the truth, and I owe it to Christopher and his family.
Nothing further. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any redirect examination? Go ahead, please.
Let's see how Snappy Suit fixes this cluster F. I mean, let's see how the state redirects and rehabilitates its witness. Does he have a magic wand? Because I think he's going to need to Avada Kedavra this entire testimony.
Thank you.
Maybe Sectum Sempra, like the entire cross. All right, Colorado is
Things
fully on Mosey
about-
time.
A lot of topics,
Yeah.
not many about your role in the murder.
Right.
Let's, I guess, start where she started and where she ends. You love your children,
Yeah.
okay? You were specifically asked to start cross-examination that, ma'am, you lied to your children,
Yeah.
right? How old are they again?
8, 7, and 5.
How old were they at the time of this? When you make that first call after being arrested to start talking through this?
My son was 5, my daughter's 3, and my youngest was 2. She just turned 2 weeks when I got arrested.
Okay. Ma'am, are you going to tell a 5-year-old that mommy's girlfriend stabbed somebody in the neck 5 times
No.
and that you handed her the weapon?
No.
Well, I mean, not on the first date. Check with me after a margarita, though.
Are you going to tell your 3-year-old that mommy's girlfriend, after stabbing him 5 times in the neck, left, got gas, and burnt his whole body?
No.
Are you going to tell your 2-year-old that after you go back and you burn his body, that you flee and you make a promise not to talk about it?
No.
Did you tell your 5-year-old, your 3-year-old, your 2-year-old that she went through all his shit right after she stabbed him in the neck 5 times?
No, I did not.
Would that
Why did we pull out the ish word? Wow. Someone's a hot and spicy mad. I like that he's being so blunt, but okay, you know what? The prosecutor has woken up. I'm not sure what he's
be
going to
age
do with
appropriate
this.
in your opinion as a mother of 3 small children?
No.
I did have a good weekend. Hope you had a great weekend, Vice baby.
Let's talk about your kid's son.
Or not. Let's
Throughout
not
this
bring
process,
the kids.
have you seen him?
No.
You haven't seen your children.
No.
Why not?
Because she's currently a guest of the state pen. I mean, why haven't you seen your children? Well, I'm currently incarcerated as an accessory after the fact, an arsonist. I mean, not a lot of mom, like, take your kid to the pen with you days.
My kid's dad just,
I don't know.
he hasn't came and brought them when since I've gotten sentenced.
Because you're in prison. Maybe he doesn't want to take them to prison with you. Call me crazy. Also, you left him for another chick who ended up stabbing a dude and setting him on fire, which is why you're currently in, orange. I don't think Javi's going to be all fired up to, and pun intended, to take the kids to see you.
Prison.
Okay. So you've never told your kids what you did.
No.
You never told your kids what she did.
No.
Have you told this jury?
Yes.
Is that the truth?
Yes.
What about the wallet?
Ma'am, you were asked a lot about this desire to get out.
Right.
You have a desire to get out, right?
Yes.
You have a desire to be back in your children's life.
Yes.
Where are we going with this?
Do you feel guilty about your role in this case?
Yes.
Section 41443.
Give me just a second. All right, I'll overrule the objection. The witness can answer.
You can answer, ma'am.
Yes.
Do you feel guilty?
Yes.
Why?
Because I should have handled things differently. And I hurt a lot of people.
Ma'am, I gotta ask, are you a mastermind?
No.
Did you?
Facts definitely not in evidence. Of all the questions the prosecution could have asked, this one was probably the most cogent, but possibly the most brutal. Like, she's gonna need some ointment after this. This is gonna burn. Like, were you so dumb that you couldn't be a mastermind? Look, this is better.
Did you come up with a plot
No.
that you would come up with this conspiracy against the defendant, your lover, and put things in your phone
No.
in all of this time period with the hopes that then somebody would be incredibly thorough, look through it all, and then use it against her?
And I'm sorry, before you answer, I'm sorry, Ms. Never, I couldn't hear you. Could you repeat the objection?
Bolstering.
Bolstering? All right, I'll overrule the objection.
Can I answer?
Yeah, you can answer.
No. I did not do that.
I mean, I'm not trying to demean you, but are you that smart?
No.
Can you see the future?
No.
Jesus, now we're getting into, are you Miss Cleo? Is he going, look, she's too dumb. She's too dumb. She's like the water boy. She thinks the alligators is angry because they don't have teeth brush. What is... Never in my life have I seen the state try to discredit their witness by calling them too stupid to commit a crime, but I'm here for it. Your Honor, my client's too dumb to have been a part of this. Look, we're proud of her. She learned to, not drown in her own spit.
You talked about having shame and that you're feeling those emotions afterwards.
Right.
Well, after you just called her
And there was
stupid,
discussions
I
about
think.
that to Javi.
Right.
Do you feel shame?
Yes.
Did Chris deserve to die?
No.
In your opinion, is his death justified in any way?
Your Honor, objection.
I'll sustain the objection.
You feel shame for your role.
Right.
Ma'am, you were asked and cut off, and you were able to respond part of the way and said, it's the right thing
To do.
to do?
Again, Your Honor, bolstering.
All right, I'll overrule the objection.
What's the right thing to do?
To speak the truth. And I feel like his family should know to have that closure. And I feel like Christopher deserves it because he shouldn't have died that night.
You don't believe he deserved to die?
No,
Did he force you into a position where you thought you had to kill him?
no,
Did he force the defendant into a situation where you believe she had to kill him?
no,
Did she have to use that blunt object in his neck?
no.
And this is where the defense is really going to struggle because despite maybe the credibility issues of Hosanna, you still have to deal with the fact that Chris Dickerson was stabbed 5 times with a metal file, with the blunt end of a metal file, and then his house was set on fire after they relieved him of certain goods of his. So regardless of, Hosanna really kind of biting the big one as far as a credible witness, I will state that Stacy has to, when she testifies, she has to, again, go through the direct and then, stand up to any questioning and any cross because we've seen this witness just wilt on cross. I don't know how Stacy is going to play this.
Did she have to do it 5 times?
No,
Did she have to burn his entire house down?
no,
Did she have to take his stuff?
no.
Your Honor. Can we approach, please?
Sure.
I will say that this coloring has really softened her for today, but she's doing the lip licking thing.
All right, the objection's overruled. Mr. Braley, you can continue.
Let's talk more about this self-defense aspect, okay? Could you have left when this altercation starts?
Yes,
Could you have gone out the front door?
yes,
Could you have driven away?
yes,
Could the defendant have left out the front door?
yes,
Could you have left out and could she have driven away?
yes.
Was that exactly what Chris was asking you to do?
Your Honor, I'm going to object. There's no duty to retreat. We've already talked about this.
Can the parties approach?
There isn't a duty to retreat, but at this point, you're stating that she had to, a reasonable person, instead of retreating, would, stab someone 5 times?
And based on your observations, was Chris about to kill either of you?
Objection asked and answered.
I'll allow the witness to answer.
No,
Did you have a feeling he was about to?
Again, asked and answered.
I'll allow the witness to answer.
no,
Ma'am, you were discussing with defense these kind of stock photos of a layout that looked like it was from a website or a realtor. Is that fair? Like where it was staged?
of his house.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
X, Y, and Z. Do you remember those?
Yes,
Oh,
Are those up there?
They should be.
If I could approach.
Yes, go ahead.
Ooh.
Ma'am, I'm handing you back X, Y, and Z. I'm also going to approach with 231.
Oh, sorry. That's
And I'm sorry, Mr. Braley, you said 231? Yep.
Pretty much.
Okay, ma'am, you were shown these to try and say where you were looking, why you were looking, and what vantage point you would have, and discussion of the couch.
right,
You remember that?
yes,
Okay. Do you remember at your proffer that you actually drew a description of this?
yes,
And I'm handing you, it's been marked as 231. Is that what you actually drew? Is
yes,
that fair and accurate?
yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I move for permission to admit 231.
Any objection to 231?
No.
All right, the court will admit into evidence 231, and you may publish at your discretion.
So we could show 231. Ma'am, you have it in front of you, but is that to the best of your abilities how you had laid that out?
Yes.
Okay, and can you describe to the jury, just take us through that progression when that was drawn for you, what we're dealing with?
What in the
I
name
believe
of
at the time you were asking me to place where Stacy and Chris was when that argument happened and where I was standing. And
Okay.
then after she had pulled him off the couch, I believe you asked me to draw where his body was.
Okay, and you drew that, and you put the couch up there,
how
and
in
then
the
kind of,
hell is
I guess,
this
the
make
head
it
of it
any
by the couch?
clearer? Okay, so the kitchen door is somewhere that doesn't show a door. The hallway door is over here. The TV is here. A chair is here. A couch is here. Stacy and Chris were over here, and then she... Okay, so she's putting herself in the middle of the TV room, not in the kitchen. This is the picture that she drew. Oh, good Lord. Well, I guess this is Chris when he's passed away, and this is Chris and Stacy fighting, and then she's just in the center of the room. None of this matches anything of what she said. Oh, for the love of State, why did you do this? This is a terrible idea.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
The final
Yes,
resting
yeah.
spot? Now, ma'am, I'm going to show you something you've never actually seen. You see People's Exhibit 144?
Yes.
Have you seen that?
No.
Do you know who drew that?
No.
Objection, relevance.
Okay.
I'll allow the witness to answer.
I want you to compare your Exhibit 231 to 144 as to where Chris's body would have been.
It seems like the exact same thing.
I agree.
You
with
have two Chris's.
And again, that was something that wasn't in packets up to 65.
Right.
It wasn't, I'm sorry.
Was not.
Okay, but that doesn't alleviate her from being the actual unaliver. Just because she knew where the body was doesn't mean that she now isn't potentially... Well, I mean, Stacy has admitted to unaliving him in self-defense, but... Oh, all right, State, if this is the, Matlock moment you need, then I say you take this stick drawing where she has two Chris's and give her a sticker for having one Chris in the sort of dead part of the photo.
All right. Now, ma'am, you were cross-examined about this aspect of the meeting before the proffer, right? And you heard a lot of questioning about, well, your lawyers are involved and there's all this stuff.
Right.
Did your lawyers or your investigators tell you specifically what to say?
No.
Okay. Did they coach you to tell you, hey, you got to tell Investigator Burroughs X, Y, and Z?
No.
Did they give you the elements of first-degree murder, arson, burglary, or tampering with a witness and say, you're going to have to hit all these points?
No.
Okay. Did they simply arrange the meeting?
Yes.
And to be clear, at that time, is your team doing their own investigation for your case?
Yes.
Well, thank you, State, for your star witness, because it's looking so clear now. It was so tangled before, but this is how it looks now. State, I no longer trust your star witness. I think she's lied about some key points. And her making a stick figure drawing with him in the same proximity of sort of where like a human would fall maybe off the couch is not helpful.
And their duty is to you,
Yes.
just like their duty is to her.
Right.
You understand that, right?
Yes.
You understand why she crosses you like this, right?
Yes.
Flirting. I mean,
You were asked about this beer bottle progression, okay? And that apparently,
nobody take that. That is my new punk funk fusion band, beer bottle progression. Don't take it. It's the name of our first album and single.
for the first time yesterday, you had discussed 3 separate beer bottles. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And that was on cross-examination that just happened,
Right.
right? I'm going to approach with some timestamps of a recording. I'll show it to defense. I know you guys have a transcript of it, but if you'd like to read it.
Do you know if that's for the time of day or is it the
Time of the day.
You know how far into it?
I do not. Can I approach?
Yes, go ahead.
I just need to figure where you're at. Your Honor, I'm sorry, I just got a transcript. I'm just trying to figure out where it is.
Okay. Just let me know when you both are ready.
No, because look, JKD Buck, I may be the world's worst Christian, but I am not looking to get struck by lightning. And that's a good song, so I'm not going to make fun of Randy Travis. Though I think we can figure out something like Mama was a rolling beer bottle. I don't know. Ooh. See, and I would have said it's the Trinity number, but there goes,
Your Honor, I would be
Yes, they
objecting. That's
did.
not an accurate transcript.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I would be objecting to him approaching Ms. Rella. That's not an accurate transcript.
Can the parties approach?
okay, I guess the state was trying to.
I'm going to just show you 1150. You can just look at this.
The defense thought that they were showing her either a not completely accurate or not correct or official transcript, but looks like he was able to defend his case that this is in fact an official transcript. So I guess that one, they did not win.
Ma'am, do you recall
Fair.
in the progression saying something to the extent that she grabbed a beer bottle and goes to hit him, but then misses?
Right.
And I go, no, don't. Let's just leave it. And she looks at me and grabs another beer bottle, and that's when she hits him on the head, then grabs another one and hits him again.
Right.
1, 2, 3.
And
That
is
is
that the way
3
you
beer
recall it?
bottles.
Yes.
Okay? And to be clear,
3.
do you,
1,
like,
2,
let's step back for a
3.
moment. Do you have any doubt whatsoever in your mind that Miss Rodriguez used a beer bottle and smashed it on Christopher's head? Do you have any doubt about that?
No.
Okay. I mean, you were there
Right.
and you saw that portion, right?
Yes.
And I want to talk about this massive motive that you're apparently going to have.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to leading, and it's improper for the prosecutor to be testifying for this witness, basically.
I
Wait,
will
wait. You want to talk about testifying for a witness? You have got to be kidding me.
sustain as to the phrasing at the beginning of that question. I didn't have the rest of it, so I don't know if it's leading or not, but Mr. Pralia, just mind that issue.
You saw this, right?
Right.
And you've been cross-examined for hours
Right.
about this motive of you making all this up
Right.
to get out to see your kids,
Right.
right?
Right.
And that you'll do anything for this sweetheart deal of 32 years.
Objection. That's mischaracteristics of the evidence. Her deal was not 32, it was 16 to 32.
I'll overrule the objection.
Right? You heard all that.
Right.
You endured that cross.
Right.
So explain to this jury when you said you
Okay, endured is not the word I would use for this. Yeah, she had a cross-examination. She also was there and didn't stop a man from being killed. So endured is, a little bit of overwrought language, okay?
saw the smashing of this beer bottle, wouldn't it make more sense for you to say that you were right next to her and you see her stabbing that file into his neck time and time and time again, and nothing was obstructing your view?
Right.
I mean, if you're so out to get this woman, your sight is perfect, correct?
Yes.
Your hearing is perfect?
I'm sorry, Ms. Deborah.
Leading.
I'll sustain the objection.
Would your sight be perfect?
It would.
Would your hearing be perfect?
Yes.
You would have been stone cold sober, right?
Right.
I don't think sober is a word she was acquainted with at the time.
We're asked about the things that were taken.
Yeah.
Specifically, you were asked about the phone.
Yes.
Did you look at that phone?
I did.
Okay. And can you describe to the jury, to the extent that you recall, what was on that phone of Christopher?
When Stacy asked me to open the phone, I started going through his pictures, and I remember seeing pictures of his dog, and I believe his girlfriend, and I started feeling bad, and I started telling Stacy.
401, 403, and hearsay.
She started feeling bad just then, not when she was hearing him getting stabbed. I mean, it was just a scotch. But when she saw the pictures of the puppy,
Oh, she has direct observation.
Give me just a second here. All right, I will overrule the objection. The witness can continue.
You can answer.
And I remember seeing pictures, and which I believe was his girlfriend, and I started feeling bad. I remember Stacy was like, "Get off the phone now and stop looking at the pictures." And I started feeling just bad.
Okay. You had guilt.
Yes.
You recall telling Detective Burroughs also that you saw photos of his mom, or what you thought was his mom.
Yeah.
In terms of these aspects of your motive, you were asked specifically that you kept all this hidden, right?
Right.
After the fact.
Right.
And that the obvious answer would be that you're scared.
Right.
And in the first part of your testimony, when I last got to ask questions, fair to say you couldn't give that full answer?
Yes.
she's been in jail the entire time since this crime happened, I believe in 2022. So she's been in prison with Stacy. No, it was 2021. Sorry. Double, triple check because my brain is... Alrighty. Yes, 2021. So she's been in since 2021, just like Stacy. Thank you, KLF. I was like, where are my notebooks? Or, where's my notebook?
You couldn't explain what truly you were afraid of?
Yes.
Objection.
What's the objection?
Your approach.
Sure. Answer, right?
Yeah.
Are you scared of the defendant?
Yes.
Does your relationship contain abuse?
Yes.
And did you still love her?
Yeah.
Do you still have feelings for her?
Right now, no.
Alice G, I don't know. I don't know. I think right now I'm a little let down and disappointed, and I do think that the defense has put enough doubt for this witness and put enough, motive. Yesterday, I would say that, on direct, Hosanna did a really good job, but after the cross and after inconsistencies, I don't think that this witness has done a whole lot. Now, again, we have to wait for Stacy to testify. Stacy, this is a self-defense case, so Stacy will be taking the stand. And it does look, as I've just kind of looked over the photos and gotten X updates, that they have Stacy's hair down. She does look a bit softer. She looks a bit younger. If the jury will take any of that into account, I'm not sure, but I will say optically she does look softer and she does look at least a little bit younger, you know, with her hair down.
Did you during that time period?
Yes.
And looking at all the people around you, were you two alone essentially on an island after this event on October 3rd?
No.
Did you have others that you felt like you could tell about this particular case?
No, I felt alone and I felt like I couldn't talk to anybody. And I was just terrified of her. And I was believing all the lies that she had told me. And I was just terrified of, you know, what was going to happen if I.
If what?
If I did tell the cops. And I just remember at that, Stacy had already told me that she was going to kill me. She just didn't have the details set out yet before the murder happened. And
So, wait a minute. This chick has already threatened to red rum you before she actually went ahead and killed some other person. And you were still like, I'm afraid. Okay, you know what? She's not the smartest person. Why am I trying to look at this logically?
I just remember thinking I can't show no fear, even though I was terrified of her. And the abuse got worse after. She, at this point in my life, I just didn't care about me anymore. I was just careless. I didn't care if I died. And I feel like she knew that. And so she threatened one night. She put a knife to my neck and she cut off all my clothes. And she told me if I ever talked to my kid's dad, she was.
I have a real hard time believing this. And I don't want to have a hard time. But I have a hard time believing this along with everything else. I mean, you know, she doesn't even have the Sarah Boone sort of photos of the shoe polish. Well, I mean, honestly, I look like I have darker eyes than, you know, well, at least a good outline to follow if I were Sarah Boone. But honestly, I mean, she doesn't have, if she was so big at, you know, taking screenshots and everything else, then why didn't she take any pictures of her little wounds? Why didn't she take any sort of, you know, hey, no one's going to believe me? I mean, odds are just as good that if Stacy hadn't ever fessed up to anything, she could have thrown, you know, everything to you, considering she is younger. People would have probably bought that, you know, a 26-year-old in a relationship with a 19-year-old would have some sort of power dynamic against the 19-year-old. What you're asking us to buy here is that you were the powerless victim, that you are subservient, and I'm just not getting that from y'all's relationship. I think you are toxic to each other. I think you are both ridiculous. I don't know. I can't make heads nor tails of their relationship, so I don't know if they, you know, beat the tar out of each other, one laid hands on the other, or what happened. But at this point, I don't believe that this particular event happened with everything else that I've seen of her testimony.
I was gonna kill him, and I believed her. You know, I feel like at this point, she just knew she couldn't get to me anymore. And so she was using the things that I truly loved. And, you know, the abuse just got worse, and it just kept trying to stay strong and just not show any fear. I was doing everything she wanted. I mean, I was just bypassing the time because I truly believed she was going to kill me.
You had stated multiple times, ma'am, that after hearing the sound of him being stabbed, that you had made the decision that you couldn't show fear.
Right.
Internally, were you living in fear?
Yeah. I was terrified of her. And I just tried not to show it. I didn't want her to know that I was, because
Okay, so you're telling me that if Hosanna had actually gone to Javi and said, "Look, some bad ish went down. Stacy's involved with this. I am terrified. She is threatening you. She's threatening the kids. What should I do?" Are you telling me Javi wouldn't have told her to go to the cops? What has Stacy, I mean, before this part where you seem to, I don't know, it just, none of this follows on for me. Why is she still saying, I have feelings for her, I care for her, if she was threatening to unalive your children? Like, if you threaten to unalive my children, you are gunzo with me. Like, I have no feelings left other than, honey badger. So I can't imagine saying someone who's, threatened my younglings, I'm going to say, like, look, I don't like love her right now, but like Mike could in a couple 10 years, she'll start looking cute again. So, I'm keeping my doors open.
I felt like that was just the best survival mode to go through. And I mean, if I feel like she lied about a lot of things that I believed, like her being in this gang and killing other people. And now that I think about it, I feel like, she was just
Objection,
telling me
narrative.
these.
I'm sorry.
Narrative.
All right, I'll overrule the objection.
You can continue, ma'am.
And I feel like she was just telling me these things just so I could be scared. And I believed it.
Okay. And so, for example, you had talked about this aspect of her saying that she'd killed before.
Right.
And did you actually believe that at the time?
Yes. She told me that, she pulled the body down so it can make it look like self-defense. She's told me that she's burnt the other bodies and it takes longer for them to identify it. And, me personally, I didn't know that stuff about.
How high were you both? Because I have a feeling there were some not street legal pharmaceuticals that you believed her, and then she believed you.
Killing, and it made sense because somebody who killed other people and knew this stuff, so I believed her.
Okay. And so, as part of
You're
that, ma'am,
saying she was an expert in murderology?
you're saying you believed what she said without proof of it. Fair?
Right.
As to those other things. As to Christopher, did you have proof that she had killed someone?
No. Oh, with Christopher, yes.
With Christopher?
Yes.
Oh my God, this woman. Well, he did say she wasn't bright and she's not a mastermind. Yes, the trial we're at for the decedent today.
On October 3rd.
Yes.
I mean, I want to make this very clear. Who all was there on October 3rd?
Me, Stacy, and Christopher.
Okay. And did you actually see Christopher, as you drew it,
Yes.
bleeding out?
Yes.
In two places?
I mean, there's no other person for that one, right?
Objection, leading.
All right, I'll sustain the objection.
Was anybody else there?
No.
And at that point, did you guys understand when you were arrested on October 4th, on October 5th, October 6th, all those days, that the police didn't know who'd done it?
Yes.
I mean, did that make sense?
Yes.
So you were asked a lot of things that you chose not to do, like you didn't drive away,
Yes.
that you didn't call 911,
Yes.
that you didn't call Javi,
Yes.
you didn't call Hannah,
Yes.
you didn't go to GPD.
Yes.
Did the defendant ask you whether or not you guys should call 911?
No.
Did she ever suggest we should go to GPD?
No.
At that point, was there ever a suggestion, other than what the defendant said, to make it look like self-defense? Or was it simply to keep your mouth shut?
I think it was to keep my mouth shut.
As according to you, who I don't believe anymore. So it's really going to come down to the way Stacy testifies for me, because I have kind of the evidence, and while I don't think you're going to get to self-defense, she may be able to get heat of passion, though I think you could get heat of passion for one. I think it becomes premeditated at 2, 3, 4, and 5 with the stabbings. But you might be able to get, a second degree, crime of passion out of it if she testifies well. But she also was in a relationship with Hosanna, and I have a feeling you kind of tend to date or marry within your own IQ strata. So possibly, Stacy's gonna fumble just as hard.
Ma'am, you were asked about your motive and the fact you didn't take accountability, right?
Right.
Did you hand the murder weapon to the defendant?
I did.
Did she ask for that murder weapon?
Yes.
Did you hear it get used?
Yes.
Ma'am, when you testified yesterday and when you're here today, are you able to relive that event? Are you able to look and remember what happened to Chris?
Objection, Your Honor, this is for 1403 and bolstering.
I'll overrule the objection.
Yeah. That's just something that should have never happened.
Well, it's real easy to say that when you never stepped forward until there was
I
a
don't think she
deal.
realizes that it affected a lot of people. And
Objection, Your Honor, 4143.
I'm going to sustain that answer. Sustain that objection as the answer was non-responsive. The question was, are you able to look and remember what happened to Chris? Ms. Varela, if you can answer that question specifically.
yes,
Vividly?
yes.
You were asked about the arson. And specifically, I guess to back up before that, you were asked about going through the pockets.
Yes.
And your testimony was that you believe that the defendant took something out of the victim's pocket.
Yes.
And you believe that was a wallet.
Yes.
And now you were shown a wallet that was in his car.
Yes.
Are you
Objection, that's not in evidence.
All right, I'll overrule the objection.
are you still confident that something was taken out of his pocket?
Yes.
Are you still confident that his phone was taken?
Yes.
You were asked about this lack of discussion on the way around after you had left, and that there was no explicit, hey, I'm going to go light the house on fire.
Right.
Okay? You were given directions.
Yes.
You were told what to do.
Yes.
And ultimately, did you go back to that place?
Yes.
You knew Christopher was dead at that point, right?
Yes.
Did you ever get out of that car?
No.
Well, Sticky Widget, we also learned that Hosanna was cheating on Stacy with possibly a dude. I don't know if they went over to Netflix and chill or whatever, but it seems like the offer was there for her to come over and, get to know each other on a biblical level. And White Rabbit, yeah, I am not buying the crocodile tears. I'm sorry, but I hope she remembers clearly. Yeah, I think that, yeah, you can have all the tears you want when you've finally gotten held accountable for the crime, but unless you continue to work to try to impress, to atone, to actually make real sort of, atonement and redress for your crime, then I don't really care what you do on stand.
You were then asked about the destruction of these items at a later time, right?
Yeah.
And specifically that you didn't participate in it.
Right.
Do you believe those items were burnt?
Yes.
Why do you believe that?
I had seen the bonfire when I had came back, and it smelled like chemicals.
And specifically, you had stated that you didn't want to be part of that and you left.
Right.
And you told that to,
Objection leading.
well, did you tell that to Detective Burrows?
And I'm sorry, Mr. Praley, let me respond when I have an objection. Okay, give me a second.
I'll rephrase if the court wants.
If you want to rephrase, go ahead.
Did you tell that to Detective Burrows?
Yes.
Still leading.
And specifically, when you got back, how was she acting towards you?
She was upset and just angry. I remember going back into the trailer and she came in and slammed the door and walked back out, and she was just mad. And I knew it was because I wasn't participating.
Okay.
Because you're psychic now?
Ma'am, there was discussion about you texting another man in the days or weeks after the homicide,
Yes.
right? What was his name?
I think his Facebook name was Mobster. He went by.
Mob Trujillo?
Yeah.
And ultimately, was he writing you?
Was he texting me?
Right.
Yes. We
And-
had texted like throughout.
Wait a minute. So now it's, look, I wasn't cheating. This dude out of nowhere started texting me. And how was I to know that I probably shouldn't go over to Netflix and chill when I'm in a committed relation dateship with Stacy? Please explain your answer, because has accountability just left the building?
Even earlier in the months, kind of like throughout mine and Stacy's relationship,
Okay.
like that summer.
Okay. And ultimately, it was discussed that you had sent him nude photos
Yes.
and that Miss Rodriguez found out about it,
Right.
right? What was her reaction when she found out about it?
She was just angry. She showed me a picture on her phone that she took of my phone and was like, I thought you didn't like guys like this. And just,
Wait a minute. Why are we taking screenshots with one phone? This is like what I would do with technology, which would be to take a photo of the screenshot instead of taking a screenshot from said, screenshot phone and sending you said screenshot. Y'all, when I first started this case, I had a foggy idea where either of the state and the defense was going, but this is ridiculous. Baker, the state's witness has turned out to be less than reliable. I know you are shocked, but turns out, not being quite honest and all that things, well, apparently, she's just afraid.
going off on it. She blocked him off my phone, and then later she ended up showing me that she messaged whoever he was talking to, and I didn't really get to. She just showed me on her phone, and I think she was trying to ruin their relationship or something.
I think we are up to a lesbian love dodecahedron, though. Because honestly, I don't know if Javi's still in the mix. I don't know if Stacy has another pen pal or lover. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and say that we have no idea what happened in this relationship, if there even was a relationship.
Ma'am, you were asked about an incident with, is it Isaiah?
Yes.
And you had known him since high school.
Right.
Okay. Describe the relationship again between Isaiah and Stacy. Was there one?
No.
Okay. How are you guys all friends?
Well, Isaiah was my friend, and so I don't know how they initially met. Maybe when we were out and he was there, but
You can continue.
that's kind of They never had a relationship. It was through me.
Okay. And ultimately on that October 16th, you guys had gone out to Roasties.
Right.
There was that discussion, right?
Right.
If I could have a moment.
Sure.
Both the state and the defense have just decided to start adding
ma'am,
things
we're
at
gonna
random
show
with no context.
What's marked and admitted as People's Exhibit 136. Who are we looking at here, ma'am?
Isaiah, me, and Stacy.
Okay. And what was Isaiah's previous name?
Kayleen.
Okay. Can you describe then that night as it pertains to what you recall?
I remember picking up Isaiah, and I think we were gonna go out to a karaoke night, and it was just supposed to be me and him. And Stacy was texting me, and I think I had to tell Isaiah, like, is it okay if we go pick up Stacy? And so we went and picked up Stacy, and she was driving in the Malibu. And I remember going to Roasties, and things were just, there was just tension. I don't know, I feel like Stacy was just already mad. And I do remember that night, Isaiah telling me, like, oh, it's gonna be one of those
Objection,
nights.
hearsay.
Give me just a moment. All right, I'll overrule the objection. The witness can continue.
And I remember him saying, oh, it's gonna be
Hey,
one of those
Umi
nights.
Sumi
And
is
he was just
great.
catching her vibe. And Roasties, it was okay. I mean, it was just, I was just trying to be neutral with both of them. And
Okay, Broken Baker has the yeaster, Doughman glazinator, cinnamon hump, donut hole. You know, if I was gonna go with anything, I think I'd go with glazinator, but I don't know if you would get maybe, I don't know what audience you would be selling to, but I would like to see that audience. Yeah, the yeaster sounds like something you need to get monostat for, to be honest.
I remember leaving, and Stacy started driving, and she was pretty drunk because she hit the median. And I told her, get out, let me drive. And so I was driving, and we stopped at McDonald's, and then I went to go drop off Isaiah. And I remember they started arguing, and I don't really remember what it was about. And I remember Stacy pulling Isaiah out of the car, and that's when I got out, and because I was in the driver's seat, and I went around, and Stacy was on top of Isaiah, and she was using her weight on him. And I remember her hitting his head, and her looking at me, and she told me to go back to the car. And so I went back to the car, and then she got in the
This is Sarah. How old is kiddo? Because I want to say Jello is okay as long as you've introduced. I think most gelatin now is kind of vegetarian gelatin, but make sure he doesn't have any sort of. 6 months might be a little too early. 6 months, I think they can start with like the little fruits. It's been a couple, almost 10 years since I've been there. I always started out with bananas, though, to be honest, because who wants to start with peas? Ew. But if you've got the little baby food, you can, it is a-okay. That is quite all right. And you can dilute a little bit of either formula or breast milk into some rice cereal. It kind of gives them used to, most of it will end up coming out of his mouth. So basically you're going to be doing a spoon and then a quarter is going to come out. So then you scrape the spoon up the lip and put that back in. So, and you can add a little bit of banana in there. Look, my middle son wanted steak when he was 6 months old. Now, that being said, his dad was so proud he was a carnivore that they had these solid food, mushy, basically it was like a passy, but it had a net over it. So they could kind of lurk. I would say he was closer to 10 or 9 months at this time, but he can kind of, you know, gnaw down on it. And he really liked gnawing on steak. He was a carnivore. I told you I gave birth to Bobby Hill. My middle son is Bobby Hill. He could live on steak, I'm pretty sure. Of course, so could I. So, I mean.
the car, and we just drove off.
So I want to break down this assault a little bit. Who threw the first punch to the best of your recollection?
I don't know who threw the first punch.
If I could approach.
Sure.
Mickey, what is that? Of what? Of what? Can I see like your time zone? Sure. That's what I thought. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and you're more just kind of getting them used to the texture and
Detective Burrows?
Yes.
And I understand that prior to now, we weren't able to speak about it, right?
Right.
and thank you for gifting 5
Do you believe
memberships,
through the first punch,
Sticky
according to your
Widget.
interview back then?
Stacy.
And then you had talked about that she was on top of her with,
And those went to Heidi, 1776, Mad Mom, Kelly DD, and Bad Idea Bear. So congratulations. Welcome to the Church of Mo. Let me get these tickets written out. He really is. You know,
her whole weight.
Right.
Can you describe that again for the jury?
I remember her just on top, and Isaiah was on her stomach, and Stacy was just sitting on
his. All right. No, I would like
Now,
to make a
ma'am-
stand for the rest of us. Okay. If a woman from the LGBTQ AIP I think community cannot get the pronoun straight. Oh, and T-Marie, sorry, I forgot. But if she can't get the daggone pronoun straight, then why should we be forced to? I mean, we're not trying to be disrespectful. I don't want Isaiah, whether they go by Isaiah or their old female name, to have gotten beaten up. But if we cannot agree on the pronoun thing and, she can't, then for the love of Cheetos, can we just all do our best and not have people jump down our throats like we're the biggest a-hole in the world, because this is a bit confusing, even to a chick who's, trying to tell the daggone story.
In terms of prior incidents with you, you had discussed that the defendant used her weight.
Right. She would always, that was one of her things that she would do. She would.
Are you saying her ultimate fight move, her fatality, was
Is that similar
lay
or
on
different
you?
to what happened to Chris when she had asked for you to go retrieve the weapon?
Similar.
And again, that would have been after he had been hit with the beer bottles.
Right.
I'm going to ask to take the exhibit down.
I'm sorry.
The exhibit's still up. Can we take
Oh,
it
are
down?
you done with this, Mr. Brilla? Or are you still referring to it?
Sure, that's fine. We can take it down. Your Honor, I think this is probably a logical stopping point before we get into some of the other admitted exhibits.
Sure. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll go ahead and recess for the day. I want to remind you that until the trial is completed,
Thank
you
you,
must
sir.
not discuss this case with anyone, either in person, using the internet, or by any other means. This includes members of your family, people involved in the trial, other jurors, or anyone else. If someone approaches you and tries to discuss the trial with you, or if you see or hear anything about it, even accidentally, please let me know about it immediately. You must not conduct any research, undertake any investigation, or otherwise obtain information about the case from an outside source. You must not read or listen to any news reports or internet information or other electronic sources about the trial. If they
Now,
present
we're
any
going to
opinion-
move ahead because turns out Hosanna's parents or family members decided to curse out Blondie, Penny Problem voice lawyer. So the judge is going to have to lay a little bit of the smack down.
Can we address that issue that I brought up to the court?
Oh, yes, give me just a second. Give me just a second. Ms. Devereaux and Mr. Pirelli, and to the parties, before I forget, I just wanted to let you both know I was able to get coverage from treatment court, so we will be able to make use of Thursday afternoon. And Ms. Devereaux, I guess my only hesitation here is that we're close to 5. I'm not sure how much testimony you anticipate. If you believe it'll be lengthy, my preference would be to do it in the morning. Is that,
So I don't think it's going to be.
you don't think it'll be lengthy?
Okay, one moment. I haven't
Sure.
had a chance to talk.
Sure. Deputies, you can go ahead and take Ms. Varela down, and we'll show them to be back at 8:30. 8:30, yes. All right. Just for the record, Ms. Devereaux, can you go ahead and just frame the issue, and then we'll address any testimony you want to present.
Sure, Your Honor. Your Honor, it was brought to my attention that in the middle of Ms. Ferrella's cross-examination at one time, when I was approaching to lodge an objection and to discuss it outside the presence of the jury, it was brought to my attention that Ms. Ferrella's family member called me a fucking bitch. This has been brought to my attention now by two different people on the defense team. One is Ms. Brooke Mendoza, who's an investigator with my office, and the other one is Ms. Emma Colbert, who's one of our paralegals from our office. They're seated just for the record.
To be fair, I didn't call you that, but I have said your voice is insufferable. Your Honor, in my defense, I think facts are in evidence that this woman is an audio assault weapon, guaranteed to push my full F deficit into complete deficit. So, I mean, I guess our facts and evidence.
Approximately 2 rows north of Ms. Ferrella's family, who I believe to be her mother and her sister. And it was loud enough for them to hear that 2 rows up, and essentially only 1 row, Ms. Mendoza and Ms. Colbert are only 1 row, or they're directly behind the bar, I should say. And if they heard it, then I'm concerned that the jury would have also heard it, especially given juror number 14's proximity to the bar is maybe about 8 feet. So I would request to call Ms. Mendoza to testify first, and then Ms. Colbert.
All right. Thank you. Why don't you go ahead? You said Ms. Mendoza first?
Yes, please.
All right. Ms. Mendoza, can you come forward?
Now, I don't know who needs to hear this, but possibly don't call, any attorney in court an F and B word, even if the shoe fits, because you'll get contempt of court. I mean, I didn't think we'd have to figure this out, but okay. This has been a whole interesting eye-opening thing of what the hell is going on in this case and why does it matter? Because we've just been given
Ms.
out
Mendoza,
of
I'm going to have you have a
context,
seat, but
out
before you
of
sit down, will you raise your right
context.
hand? Ma'am, do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? All right. Thank you, Ms. Mendoza. Go ahead and have a seat. Ms. Devereaux, you can inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Mendoza, what do you do for a living?
I'm an investigator with your office.
Okay. And as an investigator with my office, have you been assigned to Ms. Rodriguez's legal team?
I have.
And as such, have you been sitting here essentially all afternoon today, March 4th, 2025?
Most, yes.
Yes. And were you here for when I was, sorry, you guys, it's really hard to do this when you're in the back, so you just throw those lower. Thanks. Were you present in the courtroom when Ms. Ferrella was testifying?
For most of it.
And did you hear any sort of language coming from Ms. Ferrella's family directed at me?
Yes.
What exactly did you hear?
The word bitch.
And did you hear it a whisper or did you
Oh.
hear it louder than a whisper?
But I didn't hear the F word. Are we going facts not in evidence? Are we now lying about... I don't know why so many female lawyers have this tone. I don't know if they think that they sound more authoritative but less confrontational. I mean, at a certain point, you are a lawyer. You're going to be confrontational. So I say just speak in your normal voice and, try to enunciate correctly instead of, I don't know, talking like you have some sort of affectation of insanity.
Whisper.
I would call it louder than a whisper because I couldn't make out the word.
And how do you know that it was, or who do you believe it was coming from?
A female
Okay. And where do you believe that female was located?
directly behind me.
And when you were sitting there and you heard this, who were the only females behind you?
Miss Rella's family.
And how do you know that they're her family?
From the investigation in this case.
And is that also from viewing discovery in this case?
Yes.
And do you know that one was her mother?
Yes.
And do you know that one is her sister, Hannah?
Yes.
And were you able to tell exactly which one that was from?
I could not.
Okay. Nothing further. Thank you, Ms. Mendoza.
Why does this matter? I mean, look, I get all professional, ness aside. Yes, it is very poor class. It is trashy. It is tasteless to spew profanities, at the lawyer. But let's be real. I'm sure half the jury was thinking it. So it turns out that when Hosanna was on the stand, it sounds like her mother or sister called the blonde defense attorney a effing B word. Now, this one only heard B, but I haven't heard effing, so let's see if the other witness will hear effing.
All right, thank you. From the state, do you have any questions for Ms. Mendoza? No. All right, thank you. Ms. Mendoza, you can leave the witness stand. Thank you, ma'am. And Ms. Devereaux, did you say you had a second person?
Yes, Miss Emma Colbert.
Colbert? Okay,
Yes.
thank you. All right, thank you. Ms. Colbert, before you sit down, if you'll raise your hand for me. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you, ma'am. Couldn't have a seat. Ms. Devereaux, go ahead and begin.
Thank you.
Ginny Weasley! I see that you ditched Harry Potter. I'm kind of okay with it. Honestly, I never thought you two were a good couple. So I hope you're doing fine and single, Ginny's. You know, honestly, I would go back with, oh gosh, the dude that you were dating before Harry.
And Ms. Colbert, can you tell me what you do for a living?
I am a paralegal with the Public Defender's Office.
And have you been sitting here throughout this trial?
Yes.
And is that because you were assigned to this case?
Yes,
And were you present this afternoon when Ms. Varela was testifying?
I was.
And at some point, could you hear some comments coming from behind you?
Yes.
Were they derogatory comments?
Yes.
Can you tell the court exactly what you heard?
I believe I heard fucking bitch.
Okay. And was that a male or a female voice?
I believe female.
I love how she enunciated it and looked at the judge like, Your Honor, I believe she added the F word, if I'm honest. Now, I mean, I wasn't like looking at her. I was trying to look at you, Your Honor, but I did hear the words, fucking bitch. And I was like, she has to be talking about my friend. I love how she said it with such authority. You knew, okay, we're going again because this woman is just excited to say this in court. Like I would be if I was really honest.
What you heard?
I believe I heard fucking bitch.
Okay. And was that a male or a female voice?
I believe female.
Okay. And when you heard this, was there anyone directly behind you?
Miss Varela's family.
And how do you know they're Miss Varela's family?
From viewing discovery in this case.
Nothing further. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Does the state have any questions for Ms. Colbert?
I do not.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Colbert, you can leave the witness stand. Ms. Devereaux, were those your only two witnesses?
Yes, please.
And did the state wish to present any evidence or witnesses on this issue?
Finally, a witness I can believe.
No? Okay,
I
thank you.
believe Ginny Weasley.
Ms. Devereaux, any argument, and I know there's been a lot of case law on this issue, so Ms. Devereaux, I'm going to ask that you specifically address the Waller factors, because I know that the appellate courts have discussed this quite frequently recently.
And just for the record, the court is discussing People v. Waller, Waller, correct?
I didn't actually double check the citation, but if you give me just a moment, I can confirm. And I can go over those.
I think I have it. It's essentially,
Let me go over the factors. That might just be easier, and I'll confirm the citation in just a second. I believe the factors to the Waller test are that, one, the party seeking to close the proceeding must advance an overriding interest that is likely to be prejudiced. Two, that the closure must be no broader than necessary to protect that interest. The trial court, three, the trial court must consider reasonable alternatives to closing the proceeding. And four, the trial court must make findings adequate to support the closure. And I believe that is United States Supreme Court case cited as.
Are they trying to get a mistrial out of this? Because this sounds like she's asking for him to rule this a mistrial. Or at least closing proceedings.
467 U.S. 39.
thank you, Your Honor. That is what I have as well. To start with, I would argue that there is an overriding interest that is likely to be prejudiced if the court doesn't close the proceeding. And frankly, Your Honor, I'm not even asking the court to necessarily close the proceeding. I'm asking the court to exclude Ms. Varela's family.
And I'm sorry, Ms. Devereaux, I should be clear. I believe Waller applies whether it's a total or partial closure.
Yes.
And I think the appellate courts have consistently found that exclusion of even one party does constitute a partial closure.
And I just want to make sure that because prong two is that the closure must be no broader than necessary to protect the interest. And I think those things are tied together. My request is nothing broader than to protect the interests of Ms. Rodriguez's constitutional rights to a fair trial and have effective assistance of counsel and due process. And that includes this jury not hearing counsel being called derogatory comments by parties in the galley. especially given the close proximity of
Okay, so she wants them banned.
the court heard
This makes
testimony
sense.
that if my investigator and my paralegal were able to hear these derogatory comments literally maybe 8 to 10 feet from juror number 14, then there is a risk here that this jury may also hear such derogatory comments being made about Ms. Rodriguez's counsel. The court must also consider reasonable alternatives to closing the proceeding, and the court must also to make findings adequate to support the closure. Ms. Rodriguez has a right to a public trial that is also met with dignity and respect, and that was something we actually voir dired on and talked about here. I think it's sending a very concerning message to this jury if we're telling them during jury selection that they have a right, duty, and obligation to be respectful and respectful of each other, but yet they're seeing that this court is allowing family members to make such derogatory comments.
Did we even establish that the jury even heard anything? Because I think if we established I think this is a bit premature. If I could see barring her family from the proceedings, yes, that makes sense. But anything else, I don't see the point, and I don't see unless unless you guys asked the jury or brought this up, I don't see that it's a mark against all female empowerment and, justice if someone said, something uncouth in a jury room. I mean, why are we making this a federal case?
Comments to counsel. There is no other reasonable alternatives. And again, we're not asking the court to completely close the proceeding. We're simply just asking the court to exclude the family members who have proven to this court that they cannot follow the dignity and rules of this courtroom. And so I'm not sure if the court has any other specific concerns, but that is our request.
And can you tell me, Ms. Devereaux, based on your understanding, you had mentioned the name Hannah. Can you give me what you believe to be the mother and sister's name that you referenced, if you know it?
So it's Hannah Varela, which has been mentioned throughout the testimony in this case. That's the sister's name. And mom's name is Denise Varela.
Denise Varela. All right, thank you. And Mr. McCormick, Mr. Pralia, does the state have a position on this issue?
Judge, I do. We would object to any either partial or full closure in this particular case. I don't believe they've met the factors as set forth in Waller versus Georgia. The other aspect I have is that they were not able to identify an individual, specific individual that said that. They merely said it came from the back of the courtroom. It just so happened to be the day that Ms. Varela was testifying. Some of her family were here in support. I didn't hear it. I don't know. I don't believe Mr. Burrows or Mr. Pralia heard it either. Nobody else came forward at the time. I think at this point that's a pretty drastic remedy to either do a partial or a full closure of the courtroom. I think at this point, if the court has any concerns, an admonishment at this time would be the most appropriate factor. My concern is that, as the court noted, aside from the Waller case, there has been a pretty robust area of law in this regard from the Court of Appeals here in the state of Colorado, and oftentimes more than not, the case gets reversed because it was an inappropriate closure. I don't believe that this rises to the level of doing that, and we would object.
All right, thank you. And I'm going to order Hannah Varela and Denise Varela to come up to the podium here.
Okay, is anyone else so out of this case for the non-contexty things that we have learned today that I'm trying to actively figure out what everyone's tattoo is? I mean, I'm like, ooh, that looks like an S, maybe Susanna? I'm over here trying to figure out what the judge's tattoos are because I have simply lost the plot in this case. But let's see if they did call, if the mom did say F and B word. Fair point, White
And
Rabbit.
ma'am, just to make sure I have each of you addressed correctly, on the left, are you Denise Varela? Is your name Denise Varela? Is that correct?
Yes, Denise Varela.
All right. And ma'am, are you Hannah Varela?
Yes, my name is Hannah Varela Campos.
All right. Thank you. All right. First, to address the court's factual finding, based on the evidence before the court does find that this remark was made The court does find the testimony of Ms. Mendoza and Ms. Colbert credible, that they were able to hear the remark. With respect to the jury hearing the remark, the court cannot make that factual finding at this time, although I do acknowledge that whenever some remark like that is made in a courtroom, there is certainly a risk and possibility that the jury has heard that remark. The defendant's advancing of an overriding interest essentially relates to the jurors' exposure to that remark. Again, I do find that is a significant interest that would likely to be prejudiced
Your
if
Honor,
the jury.
I'm sorry. She's trying to talk to Mr. Perelia here.
And Ms. Varela, I just need you to stand at the podium here while I make my findings. And I'm sorry, let me review where it was.
And Your Honor, I'm sorry. Can you direct Ms. Denise Varela to stop looking at me and giving me dirty looks? This is really just not appropriate.
Listen, I'm trying to make my finding. It's
Oh,
not
for
easy.
God's sakes,
I want both of you
ma'am.
to just sit.
Are you older than 7? She is looking at me. I'm not touching you. I'm not. This judge is going to turn this trial around and ain't no one getting frosties. I mean, daggone it. The judge is about to go all full dad, and I want a frosty, damn it. So, Karen, stop. She's giving me dirty looks. I mean, it's convenient that she did it right when she was off camera. That being said, Dad's about to pull this trial over.
Stand at that podium and look at me while I say some things here, okay? Here's my concern that I want to make sure everybody in this courtroom understands. This is not Judge Joe Brown. This is not Judge Judy. This is not a TV show. I am not going to tolerate people just jumping up and talking like this is some goddamn reality TV show, okay? I want to make sure
Oh my God. Judge, I would like to extend to you as conductress of the Petty Express a goddamn, VIP passes. Because holy crap, did this judge we are going to have to baconate that, because I'm liking this judge finally losing his damn cool with these ridiculous things.
Here's my concern that I want to make sure everybody in this courtroom understands. This is not Judge Joe Brown. This is not Judge Judy. This is not a TV show. I am not going to tolerate people just jumping up and talking like this is some goddamn reality TV show, okay? I want to make sure I'm not asking you to talk. I'm not asking you to talk. I want to make sure
Jesus,
everybody in
ma'am,
this
shut
courtroom
up.
understands. I have to make some legal findings. I'm not going to have anybody interrupt me while I do so. So the next person that does is going to have some problems. So let me go back to where I was to make sure that I don't skip anything.
Your judgeshipness, could you be my dad? Because I have a feeling even when I screw up, like you're still going to be reasonable and like, look, I'm disappointed in you. I'm going to give you a chance to explain to me why you're such a moldering, like incompetent. But I have a feeling he'd be a really good dad. Like, look, I'm going to get this done. I mean, because if this is, they have pushed his sanity for forever. He did back the truck up. He is no longer, he is like, y'all just made me blaspheme in Lent. I hope you're happy now. I hope you're happy. You're happy. I got to go to a confessional. Thank you so much. Maybe too much Butch energy, but I became attracted to him in that moment. Same. He went from a 4 to a 7 in that moment.
I do find that the defendant does have an overriding interest in the jury not being exposed to inappropriate remarks. Again, I have stated I cannot make a finding that they have been so exposed, but I do acknowledge the risk of exposure under these circumstances. At this point in time, given that we're only considering a risk, I do not find that closure of the courtroom is appropriate. I do not find that admonishment of the people involved is not I do find that admonishment of the people involved is a reasonable alternative to closing the proceeding. To Ms. Denise Varela and Ms. Hannah Varela, I want to be sure that I am crystal clear with you. I am not paying attention to what is going on in the back of the courtroom because I have so much else that I need to address in this very complicated, long, and complex proceeding. Now that I am on notice, I and my staff are going to have to take time that we otherwise would not need to pay attention to what is going on in the back of the courtroom. I want to make sure that everybody in this courtroom hears me very, very clearly. If there is disruptions in a first-degree murder trial, I might not need to go over the Waller factors. If I see a disruption, we are going to be talking about contempt of court, and I'm going to be sending some people to jail. So if people in this courtroom don't want to go to jail, I would suggest that they think about the dignity of this courtroom, the decorum that is appropriate for a first-degree murder case, appropriate in any sort of court proceeding, and consider that when they're deciding how to act in my courtroom. I am, as I'm sure everybody in this that is in this courtroom can see, a very chill and relaxed, and I hope a patient individual. Where I lose my patience is people not respecting the dignity of the job that I have to do here and the important work of justice that we do in the 19th Judicial District. So I hope everybody is crystal clear with that. I hope nobody is interested in going to jail tomorrow, and I hope that I don't have to address this issue again during this trial. So Ms. Denise Varela, Ms. Hannah Varela, you can go ahead and have a seat. You can take your seat, and I hope everybody in this courtroom considers that when we resume tomorrow morning at 8:30. Ms. Devereaux, any other record that you want the court to make right now?
No, thank you.
Any other record for the state?
Your Honor, just as an officer of the court, I don't want to be the last one to speak. I just simply want to relay the information that was turned to me prior to the advisement. I just want the court.
Sure.
I really don't want, I get it.
Okay.
It was just simply relayed to me that they are not the individuals that said the comments.
Okay, and I don't know what that is.
I understand.
I just asked the question. That's why I'm not giving anybody specific a hard time. I hope people are listening to me, because if they want to find out whether Judge Vigil is serious as a heart attack, they can find that out if they push me.
I completely understand. I
All
just
right.
wanted to put on the record because that discussion was provided that she's now speaking to me. I felt as an officer of the court, I needed to tell you that.
I appreciate you telling me that, and we will be in recess until 8:30.
All right. Well, Sticky Widget, if you're back while we're still going, this judge is going to go drink a fifth. All right. So now we've got day 4. Back for day 5. All right. I know she has a day 5. Or they. Day 5, no breaks.
Very good. Okay.
And we're
And,
back in
Jenny, are you all
black.
set? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get. Is it the same information as it was yesterday?
Ooh, Sarah McLaughlin.
Yeah, can you give me that?
Someone give this judge a Dr. Pepper.
All right, the court is on the record in 21 CR 2296, People of the State of Colorado versus Stacy Rodrigues. Ms. Rodriguez appears today with counsels Ms. Devereaux and Ms. Trujillo. Mr. Peraley and Mr. McCormick appear today for the state. We come on for day 8 of jury trial, and we are outside of the presence of the jury. Before I brought Ms. Varela back up, I just wanted to make sure there weren't any issues that we needed to address outside of her presence. Anything? That's okay.
Oh, we're
Anything
still
from
on
the
Ms.
defense
Faria.
before we resume?
Yes, Judge. We received additional discovery yesterday afternoon through, I guess, Miss Lilly had given the prosecution some more information. I'm assuming from what her team had investigated back in 2022 is what it sounds like. I believe it's related to potential for 4B that we had dealt with yesterday. We received a memo, including some photos that were taken by their defense investigator in 2022. It appeared that some photos might be missing from that. But also we received a snippet, essentially a few paragraphs in quotes from a supposed report. I'm assuming it was from a larger report about an interview that was done with Hannah Varela, who I think is kind of maybe might be a witness to some of this 404B. So based on Rule 16, I believe that Ms. Lilly has essentially investigated this case. She's participated in the investigation or the evaluation of the case as defined in Rule 16 and has reported it to the district attorney's office. So I do believe that the district attorney is now essentially has control over these reports. We would be asking for the full report. It includes a witness statement. So I think Rule 16 is pretty clear that we should be able to have all witness statements, especially if we're discussing this 404B issue. I would note.
Are you arguing essentially that Ms. Lilly is in the same position as a law enforcement agency?
I'm arguing that she is now.
Okay.
I'm looking at Rule 16, it's subsection 3 under Part 1 states the prosecution's obligations under the Section A, which is what I'm citing in regard to witness statements, extend to material and information in the possession or control of, information in the possession or control of members of his or her staff or of any others who have participated in the investigation or evaluation of the case.
this
It does
could
say who
also
either
be
regularly
work
report,
product.
however, it does say, or with reference to the particular case have reported to his or her office. This is now the second time throughout this trial that Miss Lilly has reported to the prosecution. The first time had happened last week when our investigator had gone up and approached Hannah Varela and asked her a question. Miss Lilly then went to Miss Hannah Varela, and we received this in discovery as well, where Miss Lilly wrote her a note and said, "What did the defense investigator talk to you about?" And then Hannah Varela wrote this note back. I do understand that there's a sequestration order. I think that might be an issue to flesh out later once we receive this larger report from 2022. I understand that Ms. Varela is here as her client is testifying, so there might be some Fifth Amendment concerns, and I understand the ability for her to be in the courtroom for that. However, when she spoke with Ms. Varela, Hannah Varela, this was prior to Ms. Lilly's record yesterday that the prosecution had called her off of her subpoena. My understanding is Ms. Lilly had put on the record yesterday in front of the court that we might need to take a break or something along the lines at 3 p.m. as she needed to go watch another prelim of a co-defendant. And at that point, she said the prosecution had just called her off of her subpoena.
So the judge basically admonished both the sister and the mother, stating that regardless of who said it, they are going to be paying attention now to the court and, the back of the court, so that, if another disturbance happened, he would consider contempt of court for the mom and the sister. Now it looks like because there are competing lawyers, so Hosanna has her own legal team, and then Stacy has her own legal team, and then the state is the legal team. So it seems like Hosanna's lawyer is withholding information or something to that. Now, this is Stacy's lawyer. I believe I cannot remember the name. Oh. I can't remember her name, but I know that she used to be a former district attorney. So we did learn that.
Yeah. So Ms. Lilly is sitting in court, appears to be listening to the testimony and then providing investigation based on that, and specifically only gave us a snippet of an entire witness that she then gave the prosecution yesterday. So pursuant to Rule 16, we are asking for the entire report from their investigator in regard to this Nissan Altima, Nissan Rogue car accident back in March of 2022 is when they had investigated it.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Pralia, can you tell me when you received this information and when you turned it over?
Why are we bringing a Nissan car accident into this case?
We received it yesterday at 2:38 p.m. while in court and provided it in person after the break and then through e-discovery within that hour.
I'm confused as to why we're bringing in, I guess, other things. I don't know why we're talking about a car accident. And then Old Line Red. So if Miss Lilly is an attorney for the witness that's on the stand, the state's witness, you can't take work product from her, can you? I mean, and then Old Line Red says, okay, I didn't realize Miss Lilly was an attorney. You can't pierce attorney-client privilege by saying the attorney is really a cop. I mean, it just seems like she's paying attention to the testimony for her witness. Now, if she's gathering other information to try to change her client's testimony based on it, none of this is... And Sarah, you are so welcome. Thank you for making this CRPS Day a funny one. Well, I had help. This case is a dumpster fire on top of Chernobyl. And sadly, the person that's getting lost in this is Christopher.
I can make further record if the court needs. It has always been the intention, I guess, since the court had said we need to pick and choose who would sit in court and who would be available as a potential witness between Miss Lilly and Mr. Coleman, that for purposes of being present in court for her client, that Miss Lilly would be present and would discuss anything that she needed to. I know their investigator is present. Again, not subpoenaed as a witness. I think they're
I would just like to say to the state and the defense, with my under eye circles, y'all are making me feel seen. Like, I don't know if these attorneys also have CRPS and have realized that they can't lay on either side of their body, but the tired is real. Thank you, lawyers. I feel seen now.
interest towards their client remains. They're still on the case as active attorneys and investigators. I received the information, I turned it over. It's not my intention to admit these photos at this point. I can tell the court that I'm gonna just generally talk about the 404B events altogether and move on.
All right, thank you. So I am going to deny the request as it's framed as a discovery request. I would note that earlier this week, the Supreme Court announced in re People v. Silva Jaquez, cited as 25 CO 11. As indicated in that court, the court has no freestanding authority to order discovery in a criminal case beyond what is provided by constitutional provision, statute, or rule. Nothing in Rule 16 contemplates a court being able to order a district attorney's office compel a private citizen to turn over materials. Rule 16 specifically references mental personnel. Does not appear that Ms. Lilly meets that criteria, so we don't find that the court has the authority to grant the relief requested. Anything else from the defense before we bring the Ms. Varela back up?
Yes, just for clarification, I guess, how is the court distinguishing Miss Lilly when she's actively investigating the case and providing that information to the district attorney during trial while her client is testifying?
She's not a law enforcement person. She's not a government personnel.
The Rule 16 says that the individual must be inserting themselves into the investigation. Is the court finding that Miss Lilly is not inserting herself into
Can
the
you
investigation?
quote me that language from 16?
Yes. The prosecuting attorney's obligations under the Section A extend to material and information in the possession or control of members of his or her staff or any others who have participated in the investigation or evaluation of this case, and to either regularly report or, with reference to the particular case, have reported to his or her office.
So I don't see that she's participated in the investigation just because she has material. I don't think she's tasked with investigating this case. So I don't find that she's covered by Rule 16. So I'm going to deny that.
Okay, I would like to say that I have just litigated this in my head. Mr. Moe came into the room. He's like, it's hot. You should open a window. Well, considering I am not hot and he's not staying in the room, I will not be opening said window.
Request. All right. Anything else from the defense before I bring up Ms. Varela?
No.
Anything from the state?
No.
All right. We'll bring up Ms. Varela and we'll resume. We've conditionally admitted it, and I don't think we've re-referenced it since then.
Okay, I'll formally admit it then.
And have you, I don't think.
So I believe we will be getting into, I think, some of the maybe DV allegations against Stacy from Hosanna. Now, either that or they're going to get into more of these notes that sort of document both good, bad, and indifferent of their relationship. They keep kind of rehashing arguments about the same couple pieces of evidence, so it's hard to keep up with what they're labeling certain things and why they're doing that. I feel you, JKD
From the
Buck.
defense, have you seen the copy after it's been redacted? Just to confirm that it's consistent with the court's order regarding redaction. What's that? Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. We addressed that issue. I'm sorry. I forgot.
Your guess is as good as mine, White Rabbit, and I don't know. I'm like, I can't with this entire case anymore. I don't. Well, have a good time with, your wife and have fun with the little nugget. Yeah, I don't feel like we're getting any more information about the case. I don't know why Hosanna is still on the stand. I don't know what more we can hash out. Ooh. Absolutely. Your 17-year-old said this morning there should be a special place in Hades for the inventors of daylight savings time. Yes.
I do think there is an issue we need to take up. I apologize. I just remembered it.
All right, go ahead.
Your Honor, I would ask for a contemporaneous instruction from the court regarding this 404B evidence, that it be a limiting instruction. I apologize. I meant to write it last night and was doing other things. If the court wants, I can type something up really quickly, but I would be requesting a contemporaneous limiting instruction before the jury hears all of this 404B evidence.
And can you give me just a sort of the general character of it, and then I'll review whatever you type up, but just so that we can discuss it now before you do.
I mean, I think that's more of a question for Mr. Correlia, but I think that the limiting instruction should say something along the lines of it cannot be considered in terms of propensity, bad character, and it can only be considered for the very limited purpose of the reason why the court's letting this in, which is why she didn't go to the police after the events of October 2nd and October 3rd.
And Mr. Praley, can you give me the state's position?
I think the court has let it in for a purpose or multiple purposes. I can decide on what that pertains to. I do think it goes to her state of mind, her fear, the context of the relationship at the time of the event, and the history of abuse.
Can you guys just quickly confer to see if you can agree on language on that instruction and then email it over? And if you can't agree, then we'll address the dispute. So.
I got tied up with other things last night, so I apologize.
No, I understand. I'll give you a couple minutes here to confer.
Hey, I
if you can
too
agree on
was
language.
watching the best darn food review show ever. Well, Old Line Red, I would say probably the same way. I am in theory supposed to print off invoices of whatever I buy for my channel right away as I buy it to put in my tax files, and how I simultaneously printed all emails and invoices today. So, I mean, but I'm not a lawyer. I mean, I would hope that you would do that before, but oh, they can work so well together and no one's touching each other. The judge doesn't have to put the trial over. Oh, it's so good seeing the kids play together nicely.
We have an agreement. Do you want me to email?
Yes, if you could, please.
You want it as a Word doc or just copy and paste?
Well, that's what we're dealing with.
Yeah,
DO2.
And I'm sorry, Ms. Devereaux, what was your question?
Do you want me to email it in a Word document for the appellate purpose, or do you want me to just copy and paste it into an email?
So whatever you send me with the instruction, we'll upload for the appellate record. So if it's just an email, that would probably include
Okay.
email addresses and such. So if you don't want that necessarily included as part of the record, a document would be better.
You may not consider it for any reason.
Okay,
But I'm just saying.
KLF, thank you for being on top of things because
Is that right, Sonia? Document?
I couldn't remember if this was the DV evidence or if this was the notes.
Like I'm saying, I want to take out.
I'm working on it. I'm just copy and paste it.
Gotcha.
Oh no. Brother and sister are getting mad at each other. She's a firstborn. And he's an only child. Now, in case you guys don't know what that's from, there was this time where we didn't split everyone into empaths and narcissists. When my mom had me in therapy, the big thing was your birth order. So, you know, they could tell a lot about how you interacted with society depending on your birth order, or so was the common sort of thing. So I always pretend I know what birth order these people are in based on just guessing stuff. But considering we've been allowed, you know, psychics or possible state witness with psychic abilities in, I'll allow it.
Your Honor, there is an agreement. I'm just trying to open my email.
Sure.
My email won't open.
Go ahead.
As to the car incident, we were provided photos. There's a variety of discussions of cars throughout these 404B incidents. To be clear, there's an incident where she's like chased at a park. There's another incident where like this car is hit. That's where the photos are. I'm not
Your Honor,
going.
I'm going to be objecting to Ms. Varela hearing this, so if we can need to approach, that's fine, but I don't believe it's proper for her to hear about these prior DV incidents and the prosecution's account of them before she testifies to them.
All right. Go ahead and come up and let's get this regular.
That's fine. I really just need.
Stop screwing up and lying. You look terrible out there. Stop lying. I mean, I don't know what she's saying other than that, basically. If we took out sidebars, this trial would have been 2 days long. Change my mind. It's a sidebar. Everybody get there. Just don't order 3 bottles of beer, or otherwise we'll be there for even longer. Holy, okay, no, we've done enough.
The jury in.
No.
All right, we're
Anything from
bringing
the
the
defense
jury
before we
in.
bring the jury in?
Can I just have a moment? He just handed me
Sure.
something.
Oh, and I'm sorry.
Damn it,
Have
all
you
the
guys
hell.
emailed the instruction over yet?
No, I just got my,
Okay. So yeah, I need the instruction before you bring them out.
There'll
So
be one. Well, there'll be one thing before it. So as long as it gets emailed within the next.
can you email it? My Outlook's not working. I just instituted an email address.
All firstborn and only kids are astronauts. I'm an only child, so I should be a captain on a starship, supposedly. Yeah, I would have thought that I would have been much more well adjusted as the first child, but apparently no.
I'm just going to approve.
okay.
232 is being named.
Yes, we do. We love the baby, but that's mostly because you've given us all the gray hair. Or your siblings have just worn us down.
While we're waiting, should I approach just to see how far we are?
Sure. Sure. On defense exhibits. I think the last one. So I have
probably the same thing.
I have single Q from MM inclusive, and then there's a gap, and then you introduced QQ A and B. As far this might not make any sense. But, so here's what I don't have admitted in terms of the order. I don't have A.
Okay, middle child. In my experience with my two middle children, middle of girl and middle of boys, old line bred, I'm going to posit that the middle children are so dramatic that you can't ignore them. Because in my personal familial experience right now, both of my middle children are incredibly dramatic. We are playing this at 1.25. They get a little bit too speedy for me at 1.5. So we're trying 1.25. But we are watching this at fast speed, and this particular channel, Justice Has a Process, go sub over there because they have been putting out this particular trial with no breaks. So we just have 5 hours of them waffling about, well, we don't even know at this point. Hopefully something adjacent to the case.
A, B, or C. I have D. I do not have A through H. I do have I through M. I do not have N, O, or P. And then, as I've stated, I have Q through double M. And then I don't have anything else until Q, Q, A, and B.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Did you get that email?
It's right there.
Okay. All right. And Mr. Pereira, it sounds like this is an agreement. You agree with this language?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And I'm going to rely on the parties to tell me when they want me to read that. So just let me know when it's an appropriate time to read this instruction.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Let's go ahead and bring the jury in.
True. Your parents have not heard that line, so you can try to use it. All I'm hearing in the background as I'm trying to pay judicious attention to this trial is, bro, we're so dead. Why didn't you use your lasers? Bro, behind you, on your six, on your six. Now, I don't know what my boys are playing. I think it's Roblox. But just the fact that he's like, oh, he murked me. He murked me. So I am sorry. I am not laughing at the trial. I am laughing at, he murked me. He murked me. Because I don't know that that's the right gamer lingo, but that's what they've, stuck with.
All right. Thank you. Please be seated. Ms. Varela, since we're beginning a new day, I'm going to swear you in again. Will you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Pereira, you may resume.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor. Ma'am, you were asked extensively about incidents where you and Ms. Rodriguez were actually apart during the time period after the murder and prior to your arrest.
Yes.
Right? I'm going to approach with what's been marked as People's Exhibit 232, previously shown to defense.
232. All right.
Do you recognize that, ma'am?
Yes.
What is that?
It's a screenshot of Stacy's messages that I screenshotted.
Okay.
And
And would that have been on your iCloud, ma'am?
yes.
And do you see in that metadata on the right side of that it deals with October 22nd, 2021?
Yes.
Is it fair and accurate?
Yes.
Do you recognize what's in it?
Yes.
And can you just generally describe what it is?
She's at my kids' dad's house. She took a picture of it. I could see his car and the house. I recognize it.
Okay. If we could move to admit and publish 232 at this point?
Any objection to 232?
No.
All right. The court will admit it to evidence states 232, and you may publish at your discretion.
All right, ma'am. Up at the top, we see that it says Stacy.
Yes.
Who's that referring to?
Stacy. That was her contact in my phone.
Okay. Is that the defendant?
Yes.
And then what does it say, ma'am, to the best of your ability to read it?
It says, Hosanna, please. And then it says, answer or is Javi. And then she says, I'm telling you right now, it's me or Javi is going to do with it. I think she meant deal with it. She's like, so where are you at?
Speculation.
I'll sustain the objection. Ms. Varela, if you'll just read what's on there.
And then it says, so WYA,
What does that stand for?
where are you at?
Okay.
And then she's like, I'm picking you up. And then there's a picture of her outside Javi's house. And then she said, hurry up.
Okay. I think we can take that down at this point. Now might be a good time to read the limiting instruction.
All right, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I have one instruction for you before we receive additional testimony. The evidence you are about to hear is being presented for the limited purpose of failure to report the crimes prosecuted in this matter only. You may not consider it for any other reason. All right, Mr. Perelia, go ahead and continue.
All right. Ma'am, to be clear, when you initially testified, you had discussed being scared
Yes.
of telling the police or anything like that.
Yes.
And you were cross-examined as to that. And now ultimately you're able to provide a basis of your fear. Is that fair to say?
Right.
In your proffer interview on June 8th, 2022, do you recall stating a variety of assaults that had occurred to you?
Yes.
Okay. And a variety of injuries that had happened to you at the hands of Stacy?
Yes.
To your lips, to your face, to your eye?
Yes.
Dealing with the Kayleen
Objection
aspect?
leading.
I'll allow this question to sort of frame the witness as to the topic. But Mr. Perelia, once you have that so framed, I'd ask that you mind the manner of your questions.
I understand. For a variety of injuries to lips, face, eyes, others?
Yes.
Has he not learned the patented lolly? Is it fair to say that you had injuries on your face? I mean, if you add, is it fair to say, it becomes non-leading.
Injuries to others of what you had witnessed, for example, Kayleen,
Yes.
who we've referred to as Isaiah, correct?
Yes.
Incidents dealing with cars that have been used against you
Yes.
at the use by the defendant.
Yes.
And Mr. Perelia, I think the witness is sufficiently oriented as to the topic. So again, just mind the manner of your questioning.
Okay. Did you also tell Detective Burrows about an incident dealing with a knife that was put to you?
Yes.
Did you detail the time period of when your first fight happened to it continuing after the assault?
Yes.
Did you detail incidents with the defendant using her weight on you and others?
Yes.
And ultimately, ma'am, you discussed yesterday in questions to the defense.
None of my feral boys have an inside voice. So even when we talk about, like, hey, you guys are right next to each other, use your inside voice. It's like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, you're not across the Grand Canyon. I swear you guys are going to have hearing damage just talking to each other.
That there was an escalation in abuse after Mr. Dickerson's death.
Yes.
Specifically, you noted that there was an incident with a knife.
Yes.
Can you outline that again for the jury?
Objection. Asked and answer. This is bolstering. She's already described this.
All right, I'll overrule the objection.
You can answer, ma'am.
I remember that night we were fighting and
Well, and I guess this is why I questioned why we were having a big limiting instruction when she's kind of already talked about this particular incident. And, she has been alluding to there possibly being DV in the relationship, but this has already been brought up yesterday. I mean, before we even had all this talk about a limiting instruction.
and she had gotten on top of me. And I remember her pouring water or alcohol all over me. I just remember being wet. And she pulled out a knife and she put it up to my neck and she cut off all my clothes.
Okay, well, if you had little cuts and that water burned, then it was probably booze. You can definitely usually tell, liquor smell versus water smell. I mean, unless you had a sinus infection.
And she said if I ever talked to my kids' dad again, she was gonna kill him. And so she made me lay there naked and she told me to go to sleep.
Okay. Now, you testified to that yesterday.
Yes,
You've testified to that today.
yes,
Did you tell that to Detective Burrows during your proffer interview back in June of 22?
yes,
Did you also write about it in your phone?
yes.
Ma'am, there was a discussion about you never bringing up Joker or baby Joker, and that you had never discussed anything whatsoever about Stacy having any gang connections. Do you recall that line of questioning?
Yes.
Do you recall an incident during the proffer interview where you were discussing that after the homicide, you had heard Stacy talking on the phone where she was whispering and you weren't certain who she was talking to or what she was talking about?
Yes.
And do you recall saying, throughout our relationship, she was associated with these people, I don't know, like her gang she was associated with?
Yes.
The Stacys? Because I've heard of the Heathers, but
Right.
maybe there's the Stacys.
If I can now approach with what's been conditionally admitted as 212, which is 3 pages. You can take a moment to look at that, ma'am.
Stacy's friends, the Apple Bottom Gang. I mean, the Pumpkin Pie Gang. What are the Mountain Dew Guzzlers?
Do you recognize that, ma'am?
Yes.
And what is it?
They're my notes that I had put in my phone.
Okay. Are they fair and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd move to formally admit 212 with permission to publish.
All right. And Ms. Devereaux, considering all previous objections maintained, is there anything additional as to 212?
Nothing additional, thank you.
All right, thank you. I will admit into evidence states 212, and you may publish at your discretion.
All right. Hopefully we can zoom in. Well, all right. Ma'am, would this be, I know it's a little cut off because the left, would this be note number 1?
Yes.
All right. And to be fair, there's a screenshot or an image. It's IMG 1297.png.
Yes.
Okay. And did you, I guess, have a habit of screenshotting certain conversations and then attaching them or sending them?
Yes.
Okay.
I would attach them to my notes. And
Okay. And so in this first aspect, can you describe what it says first off?
it says, if only you know I have to stay laying low because of what happened. Stacy's truck is hot. They're looking for it. And having my kids inside is putting them in danger. Being out in public is putting them in danger. I can't be home right now.
Okay. And that's from October 13th, 2021, below that?
Yes.
Okay. And then if we could scroll down to 2,
Stacy's truck is hot,
a
but
couple
not
days
the
later on
Malibu?
October 17th, if you could read that to the jury.
I feel trapped, like I'm screaming and no one can hear me. I feel as if I am in an igloo and I'm running in circles trying to get out. I'm scared to leave her. I can't be by myself for more than an hour. I want to be with my kids. I want to hang out with Javi, but I can't. She told me, if you go with anyone else, it's not just on you anymore, it's on them too. So choose wisely who you'll be with. And I believe her because I've seen what she can do. I need help, but I'm scared.
Igloo. You know, I wouldn't have picked her as having an igloo, or I would have said maybe a maze or a prison cell, foreshadowing. But
She won't leave me alone. She won't. I'm sorry, Javi. I'm sorry to my kids. Please know that I love you. Please don't ever forget that.
Okay, ma'am. A few clarifying questions about this. You had specifically put that she told me, and then you quote, who is she?
Stacy.
Okay. And Then you said, if you go with anyone else, it's not just on you anymore, it on them too. So choose wisely who you'll be with, end quote. And then the part after that, you said, and I believe her because I've seen what she can do. In the body of this, it's stating that this is from October 17th, 2021.
Yes.
So that would be exactly 2 weeks after this homicide,
Yes.
the homicide you witnessed.
Yes.
When you describe that you've seen what she can do,
Yes.
what are you referring to?
I was there when she killed him.
Okay. Scrolling down to October 3rd, is that fair that you just write that in the body, but there's not actually something attached at that point, like you had started it?
Right.
If we could scroll down to 4.
Oh, wow. Someone just wrote a whole daggone novel.
All right, ma'am. Can you read us the note on November 2nd, 2021, that is note 4 on Exhibit 212?
Yeah. I said, I feel so alone right now. All my emotions are bottled up. I feel like I can't be my own person. I'm always being watched, followed, controlled, to the point I can't even look in a certain direction. Stacy has threatened Javi's life so many times where she told them to do it, to actually do it. I'm so torn and hurt. I'm scared to even move a finger because of one wrong move, she'll do it. And it's not a threat because I've seen her do it with my own eyes. She's keeping me from having my kids 24/7 because when I want to pick them up, it's a problem, or if I'm taking too long, or even if I walk them to the door. Seeing Javi broke my heart because I feel like I'm only with Stacy for Javi.
Dear diary, my murderous girlfriend is mean to me. I could probably outrun her and go to the cops. But instead I'm going to cry like a 4-year-old girl or a 14-year-old girl and write in my journal. The end. Again, if you are so afraid of Stacy, if Stacy has access to your phone, why are you writing these notes? Because if Stacy knows it's if you habitually write yourself, diary pages, and Stacy's so controlling, wouldn't she check your phone for these diary pages? Some of it makes sense, but other parts of it just don't. And again, if you feel this torn up, if you're this scared of all this, you're telling me that she didn't never mind, she's not a mastermind. Why was I thinking she should go into the police and say I was felon adjacent, but she's not a mastermind.
Not because I want to be. When I wanted to leave one night drunk, she held me down, put a knife to my body and neck, told me if I leave, she's killing him. She poured water in my face, cut all my clothes off with the knife, saying, I like the way your body looks, made me be completely naked and told me to go to bed. I had bruises and little cuts on my body.
And ma'am, is this specifically the incident that you discussed at the proffer?
Yes.
Yesterday?
Yes.
Today?
Yes.
And you wrote about it on November 2nd, 2021.
Do you have scars?
And then above, again, you had said that you're scared to even move a finger because one wrong move, she'll do it. And it's not a threat because I've seen her do it with my own eyes.
Yes.
What are you referring to?
Again, asked and answered.
I'll allow the question.
That, I seen him bleeding out and I was there when she killed him.
Okay. All right. And then note 5. This is a long one. Is it fair to say?
Yeah.
No, Erica, I'm struggling with the fact that I can't trust this woman. I think that the defense has done a pretty admirable job of showing the major inconsistencies. And even though I dislike the use of the children and the whole motherhood angle as a reason for her to lie, I think that just because she is an inmate looking for a possibly reduced sentence is as much motivation. And they were both playing dumb as heck in the arrest video, so I'm sorry, but none of this, squares that circle for me. Or circles that square for me.
If you can begin reading it for the jury.
I said, I was living good. I was 21 years old with 3 beautiful children, together with my high school sweetheart for 8 years. We've been living on our own since 18 years old. We both had nice cars, good jobs. But the last 8 months of our relationship started June 2020. I started to distance myself from us. I wasn't feeling loved. I was crying every night. I was preparing myself to leave. And then in February 2021, I cheated on him with Stacy. We got into it and cops were called. A whole world flipped upside down. Having to learn how to live with 3 kids on my own and working at JBS nights was rough. Learning to live without someone you've been with for 8 years was something else. I met Stacy at JBS and she made me.
Okay, I really don't want to hear how you're really pining for your high school sweetheart when you cheated on him with Stacy, and then you cheated, or we're going to try to cheat on Stacy with, what is it? Mob Low? I mean, you are just a whole lot of drama, ma'am. Do you see why I don't like feelings? Like, look, I live in dark sarcasm, but I don't have all these feelings half the time. I'm not like crying and babbling on to my iPhone. So I do feel somewhat better about my mental health. Interesting.
Me feel like I was the most beautiful girl out there. She did everything that was missing from Javi. She started to stay with me every night after Javi and I separated. Leaving a healthy 8-year relationship, February 2021, remembering childhood trauma, learning how to heal from that, getting physical with Stacy, chasing me with her car, spitting to my face, on top of me and couldn't leave, hitting me with her car, fucked up my face to the point I couldn't even see from my eye. Lost my job April of 2021, fell into a deep depression, started to do coke 4 times a week and drink a lot on the weekdays. I would go days without eating and just drinking my pain away. Tried to end my life a couple of times by taking pills and drinking. Started to harm my body to cope with everything. It says July. In August, I lost my apartment and became homeless. Was staying at my grandma's house here and there. Mid-August, I walked in with my aunt touching my daughter while she was asleep.
Okay, why didn't they flippin' redact this? I understand that the defense didn't have an issue with not redacting this and she wanted to bring all this stuff up, but could we at least have kept the daughter out of this? A daughter, you know, if she is, please, I hope the state's, you know, child care is looking into this allegation. But did we have to put this in to a trial about Christopher Dickerson? No, we did not.
In September, lost my car. At this point, I was done. Tried to end my life again. I literally felt like I had nothing. Lost everything within 7 months. Only thing I kept fighting for was for my daughter. Didn't think anything else could have got worse. But then on October 3rd, I witnessed a traumatic death right in front of my eyes. I don't know to deal with this pain anymore. It felt like I was getting better. I wasn't drinking so often. I was mentally getting better, looking for jobs, a place to stay.
Okay, what about the coke, though?
This, I can't even talk to anyone about this. I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know how to handle anything. I feel so numb to everything. I just can't believe any of this is happening. I'm not strong. I can't fucking do it anymore. And then I put, if anyone sees this and I lost my battle, just know I tried. I tried my hardest. I want to say I love you, Javi. Right after witnessing someone get murdered, I had a whole anxiety.
Okay. No, you cheated on your high school sweetheart, person you had 3 kids with a chick, and you keep trying to throw this back like it was a great love affair, but you left him with 3 children and now, you know, taking care of 3 children by himself because you decided to run around with a dump truck. Now, I'm sorry that put you in a mental state, but this is all right.
Attack. and my safe place was laying down in the apartment with you and the kids. When I'm nervous or
God, maybe you should have thought of that before you cheated on your husband. I mean, I'm sorry, maybe I'm just being a total cahoon at this point, but I'm getting a little tired of Terry McCryface when she handed the GD metal file to her, dump truck girlfriend to stab this guy. And it's been all about, you miss your kids and this has been really hard and you endured across, Could we talk about Chris? Could we talk about Christopher Dickerson, who lost his life, who had his house torched and was burned beyond recognition? I mean, could we talk about the person that we're supposed to be here to try to adjudicate his murder? Like, could we talk about him? Could we stop talking about you two and how victimized you two have been? And at this point, I mean, Hosanna. But I'm sure Stacy will come up with her entire victim screed too.
they're having an attack, I think about you. You're my safe place. I felt homesick right after, and my home was in your arms. Javi, if you see this, I just want to say I'm sorry. The time I didn't see the kids for 4 days and wasn't picking them up wasn't by choice. I can't leave Stacy. I'm scared because of what she's capable of. I want to keep you and my kids safe. I've been on the down low for a reason, but Javi, just know I think about you 24/7. I crave your hugs 24/7. I'm sorry I failed. I'm sorry I couldn't be the mom and the wife you guys deserve. Just know I'm fighting every day to stay alive. I love you, Javi, and please forgive me. I know you.
He is no longer your husband again. I don't know how. For a lot of people, like JKD Buck, Mo, I hope I never see you in an orange jumpsuit reading a statement and sniffling snot every 6 seconds. No, I don't think I'm going to leave Mr. Mo for a dump truck and, that kind of thing. I do hope Javi has a really hot new girlfriend. I mean, I feel terrible for Javi in this whole thing. So, Javi, here's hoping everyone at the Petty Express that you have a hot new girlfriend. That you haven't taken around the children yet because it hasn't even been, enough time, unless it's been a year.
You will be an amazing dad to the kids because you are. I know you'll remind them how much I love them and that I would do anything for them. Thank you.
Except leave a dump truck and go tell the cops so I don't know, maybe didn't have 16 to 32 years to life. I mean, possibly. I would up it to life after your whole debacle on the stand, but...
You to my mom and my sister. You guys have no idea how many times you've helped me mentally and physically. I love you guys so much. You two are the only ones who supported me, backed me up to the fullest. I'm sorry because it kills me inside, knowing if something would happen to me, your guys' world would fall apart. But please know I fought so hard. I love you guys. And to Stacy, the love I have for you is unexplainable. You've literally been by my side.
No, I'm gonna need you to explain it to me, ma'am, because I have been on your crazy relation date ship roller coaster, and I need you to show me on the body chart where you thought Stacy was hot, and I need you to explain your unexplainable love, because right now it makes less sense than every single episode of Willow, the series on Disney Plus.
Every step of this whole 8 months, you sat next to me while I drank and listened to me. You went out of your way to help me. We literally went through the same shit together.
Wait, is this the same Dear Diary? Because she was just talking about how, like, Javi, I love you, and Stacy, I am so scared of her. And then she's like, Stacy, what in the Sarah Boone am I listening to? George knows that I love George more than anyone else in the world because I knew him better than he knew himself. And George knows that this situation that happened was totally and completely, not intentional. I think she might have read Sarah Boone's letters and thought she was a poet laureate.
You slept in the car with me knowing you had your own bed. You offered to pick me up, my kids, when I had no car. To this day, you will put me first before yourself. It sucks because we both know we are toxic for each other. We never would have worked out because you're not good for me. You would have never built me into the woman I know I could have been. The love I had for you, Stacy, wasn't fake.
The woman I know I could have been. Well, at least you understand that the woman you could have been is in the past tense because now you're a felon. Well, you know what? She's making some logical sense there. She did understand that she's not going to be the woman she could have been had she not been, convicted of accessory after the fact.
Because I did love you. I will always depend your name and obviously keep it down for you. I'm sorry you met me at my lowest point in my life. I'm sorry we were both toxic for each other. I love you, Stacy. And last, to my babies, I'm so sorry Mommy failed you guys. Please, please, please don't ever forget that I love you. Mommy fought hard to be the best for you guys. Your hugs, your kisses is what kept me going.
Fought? You didn't even line tackle your girlfriend as she was stabbing a guy. So what part of fought did you do? 'Cause I'm confused. And you know what? You have 3 kids. I get depression. Look, I have lived there for some years sometimes. But you know what I do every morning because I had kiddos? I got up and, even when I felt like I was faking it, even when I felt like this is kind of useless to fake it till you make it, I still got up and got up with my kids because, yeah, you need to do it. I swear to goodness.
Please don't ever blame this on you guys because you guys were my everything. Literally my world. I love you, DeAndre,
Literally,
Jasmine, and
no.
Anahi. I will always be with you guys. Mommy loves you so much, my babies. Tonight, while I was making dinner, literally my heart was so heavy hearing my kids laugh and playing, knowing I might not be here very long. I don't know why I wrote this, but I feel like everything happens for a reason. I love you.
Was that from October 6th, 2021 at the bottom?
Yeah.
One last thing, ma'am. There was a lot of discussion yesterday in your cross-examination about where these notes came from, if they were
Maybe
written by the
don't mean
defendant.
mug
all
the
this.
witness.
Remember that?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to come back to you with 220. And is it fair to say there are 6 pages on this?
Yes.
I want to go through some of that. You provided these notes as well as the note to Flood to your attorneys. Fair?
Yes.
And I'm handing you what's 204. As to 220, instead of passing it around to each,
How much did they pay for laminating every single thing? Now, I'm not saying I want a laminator now, but I kind of want a laminator now.
person, Your Honor, we have taken photographs of 220 by the pages so that we could go through it. I will direct her on that. I just want to make sure that's clear so that we're not passing that, and then we can formally admit the pictures of it after.
That's fine.
All right, if we could put up 220 on page 1. Ma'am, is that fair to say it's pretty hard to read? Either in front, it's easier, I guess, in front of you than what would be up there, right?
Right.
You see where it starts with, "Hey, love"?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to try and read this, and then we're going to stop, okay? So that you don't have to read all of it after having just read that.
Okay.
Okay? Does it state, "Hey, love, I just read your letter, and yeah, I'm down to leave it in the past. Like shit hurts, but I love you more than anything in this world, Mia Moore"?
Yes.
See that start? Remember the other messages involving Mia Moore?
Yes.
What does that mean?
That's what she would call me.
Okay.
Like my love or
And then it says, "You're my whole ass soulmate. Fuck this. Look like."
That's it. I am getting Mr. Mo a t-shirt that says, "You're my whole ass soulmate." coming for Valentine's Day next year, the whole ass soulmate line of Mo in the Deep End merchandise. Actually, I'm going to text that to Mr. Mo right now. You are my whole ass soulmate. And we will see what he says back. Now, he's probably going to ask, are you high right now? And I'm going to say, no, I'm sober. Oh, I just almost got out of trouble for not sending one of those. But now I think I've been implored it's, it has to happen. Now I need to find where I put Nancy Pelosi's cleavage picture. So while I'm doing that,
And on the
important
Fetty
romance.
Wap. Can you tell me what that means?
Fetty Wap, she just used that term.
Okay. And then it says, I will always keep my promise. I've been told you since day one that it's all on me. You see that?
Yes.
How did you interpret that promise of it's all on her?
She told me if I just say I didn't see, hear, or do anything, that she was going to take the blame for it.
Okay. And so is this note consistent with the original plan?
Kathy Michelle, I believe you might be, is it whole ass or hoe ass? We might need a transcript on this. So I did not find a picture of Nancy Pelosi's cleavage, but I did send Mr. Mo a picture of Loki the cat in a Hawaiian shirt to, explain just how romantic I felt about. But you know what? Definitely. I think that that's what we're going to do for Valentine's Day next year. Just a whole bunch of hoe-ass soulmate kind of Valentines that you can print off yourself.
And of you guys saying that you, specifically as to you, that you didn't see, hear, or do anything?
Yes.
And is that consistent then with the note to Flush that you got as well that's previously been admitted?
Yes.
Then it says, I ain't no bitch. I know all the shit that's under my belt, mamas.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is this? And why do I find it even more hilarious that the state prosecutor is reading it in what I like to call my uncool my uncool voice. No, that was Sal got me that, and Mr. Mo was like, why, God? Why? Yeah, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to stay awake, you guys. Daylight savings time is kicking my butt, but let's get back with, his palms are sweaty, knees weak, mom spaghetti. Let's hear rabbit rap.
Does she discuss people being under her belt frequently to you?
Yeah. Like her.
Phrasing, also, what does that mean? Because I have a feeling, well, I don't think I've noticed Stacy wearing a belt, but okay.
Bodies.
Okay. I'm just sorry you're getting hurt in the process. Trust me, Ma, I do feel for you, but I'm going to fix it on my truck. I will. What's it mean? I'm going to fix it on my truck? Like swear on my truck?
Yeah.
What?
That's what she really liked her truck, so she would.
Okay. Are we dealing with the Chevy Tahoe? Is that what's considered the truck?
Yes.
And is that the vehicle that we saw, I guess, in the arrest video
I
that was
swear on
published
my
to you?
truck.
Yes.
Okay. You're my only worry during this. IDGAF about nothing else, even me. Help us out. What's IDGAF?
I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
I give up. This She's like, would you like to swear on the Bible or the Tahoe? And Stacy's going to say, I'd like to swear on the Tahoe, please. Do you swear by all that is Tahoe-ness and four-wheel drive that you're going to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the Tahoe truth? So help you God.
And it goes, I'm going to hold it down with the Fetty no matter what. Don't feel obligated to be nice or think you got to be with me because it ain't even like that, Ma. I mean, like, I love you more than life itself. but go be happy when you're out there. Don't trip about me. I'll be cool. You know I'm down for my shit. But anyways, don't worry about it. I give you my word, mamas.
Yes.
And then is it fair to say
What in the hell did all those statements mean? Do we have like a urban dictionary to I'm guessing she's saying that you don't have to hang out with me in prison, but I'm going to keep it real and I'm not going to throw your name up and then I feel like I'm stuck in a time warp where I'm listening to William Shatner read Eminem's greatest hits and I don't know how I got into this time warp, but I'm kind of liking it.
in that letter that it changes towards you?
Yes.
The next portion says, tell me why I'm so disappointed in the bitch you picked to fuck with. Why?
Yes.
What are we dealing with there?
She was thinking.
What the hell was that word? Just do what now? I thought she said go, be free. You can like go hang with other heifers. But then she's like, but that one heifer you picked to hang out with, like, oh my gosh. I mean, ew. I'm learning this. I'm learning all the new things. Mo in the Deep End rap album coming out tomorrow. I feel like after I watch a little bit more of this, I'm going to have my first diss track. Is it a diss tape or a diss track? And do I have to start a beef with someone or can I just like be beefy? Also, can I get a pimp cane and write it off on my taxes? I'm beginning to like my new rap career.
Thinking I was with this girl while I was in county.
Okay, and then just a moment.
He got lost in the prose. He can't find his way back.
Let me find out. You got feelings for the bitch. LMA or LMFAO? What's that?
Laughed my fucking ass off.
All right. Let me find out you get feelings for the bitch. LMFAO, no hate if you do, but her old married ugly ass, tell me why everyone calling her, and then it goes into everyone calling her monkey boy, little ape, etc.
Yes.
Oh, that's mean. That's mean. She would never call another woman a simian and an ape. That's istophobic. Daggone. Wow. She's like, go be free, but not with that ugly heifer that you're trying to replace me with. She is but ugly. I'm beginning to decode this language.
Okay. And then LMFACO. What is that?
I'm not too sure.
Maybe I can't read the writing.
Well, maybe it's C word, like for her, cahuntular region or her non-existent male member. I don't know. I mean, I could give you many possibilities of what this anagram could mean. In fact, this abbreviation, I do have a cursology degree. So I'm thinking it was either cahunt or C word for a male member. Yes. Oh, I'm just not 2 hours in, otherwise I would say it. I love that word. It's one of my favorite words. But I don't know where we're going with it.
Low key, I bothered by the fact that she knew you was my bitch and she still tried. And then we go LMFAO. I ain't the one with her nasty ass. All you need to know is that I don't want to see no funny shit up there. Who you been fucking with? But yeah, I dodged.
Yeah, I think dodged.
Dogged and curved hella bitches. Been in intake all this time. What is intake? Is that a portion of the jail?
I think at the time it was like the COVID. They would put hold you for in like intake for like 2 weeks. I think they had a certain pod for it.
But again, you received this letter in jail, right?
Yes.
And this is dealing about being in intake, and it's your belief that intake as part of the Weld County Jail.
Yes.
Okay. So she dodged and curved hella bitches, been an intake this whole time. So I was seeing new hoes like every 2 weeks. These hoes be thirsty, LOL, but I didn't want to fuck around.
Okay, I'm going to just go facts, not in evidence. But I could be wrong. I don't want to speak for the entire chat. Now, is anyone getting a little thirsty for some Stacy? Now, we are not in prison, so maybe this will, alleviate our thirst. Apparently, Stacy. But apparently she's dodging hella heifers who want to get all up in Stacy and a bag of chips. They are thirsty like it is the Sahara. And, well, Stacy likes dessert. So it almost works.
On you, Ma.
Yes.
Fair? So in that period, after talking about taking the blame for you, she ultimately is accusing you of being with other people and saying how she has not cheated on you.
Yes.
Flipping to the back of that page, it starts then with, until I started hearing shit, I wasn't hurt. And then I'll let the exhibit speak for itself.
Yeah.
I was mad, like, if why that ugly hoe can just have what's mine. TF? What's TF?
The fuck?
So that ugly hoe can just have what's mine, the fuck, but it's...
That's it. That's it. My first rap single is going to be That Ugly Hoe Can Have What's Mine. Mainly, if you are said hoe, I would like you to take my laundry. I would like it returned, folded, and, laundered for me. I would like my dishes cleaned. I mean, you can have what's mine. Literally. What is going on here?
WFU?
I don't know what that means.
Okay. But it's WFU. I'm gonna let it slide, LOL. But yo, lady or man, best stop her with I ain't these other hoes. If she get some to talk about, she can come to me because I ain't scared of none, LOL, right?
Yes.
And then right after that, is it fair that she says, bitch can be number 6 under my belt if you get my drift anyways?
Yes.
Okay. So previous.
I say that we take this time to indict the federal education, department, because these 2 women graduated high school. And if that doesn't terrify you for our future, I don't know what else will. So I think that we should just adjudicate the education system, guilty. This judge is like, I thought I was going to be a judge. I was going to be doing really hard-hitting cases, and I am listening to Doogie Howser rap. This is great. Definitely my life goal right now.
You had discussed at length the fact that Miss Rodriguez is telling you that she has killed other people.
Yes.
Okay. And at the time, you had witnessed her kill someone.
Yes.
And she is telling you that's not the only one.
Yes.
Is this an example that she actually wrote this to you in jail on this letter?
Yes.
I low key ain't crazy no more. No mo. I be so calm. Laugh my fucking.
That's it. Forget my rap album. When is the state's attorney going to come out with his spoken word rap album? Because I would buy it. I would buy it on Spotify.
Ass off. Just when it comes to you, I'll drag the devil himself. LOL. But tell you too. LOL. You sound different. SHM. Is that shake my head?
Yes.
I was dying without you. Me. Pinchy, Gordita, Hermosa. What's that?
She would call me that. It was like just one of her nicknames.
What's it mean?
Really know, honestly.
My pinchy, I don't know if pinchy's a Spanish word, but I know gordita means fat and sister. So my fat sister?
Okay.
Oh,
What do you think about when you seen me?
Well,
Do
never
you even
mind.
miss
That
me?
makes
Who told you all
something
that
else.
shit about me? Yeah, I gave up on life like 2 to 3 weeks ago because that little boy girl that goes to your door low-key hates me because the bitches she gets at all try and write me, but FW whoever you want, Ma. Like I said, don't feel obligated to do anything. I've been good. What about you? Is that WBU?
Yes.
Okay. Ion, talk to the fam. Laugh out loud while my mom sometimes, cause Janira? That-
Janita, I think.
Okay. But money for the phone, I guess Victoria told her, I'm not going to read the next portion, what me and her did. So I'm assuming the low key hate me. But when I talk to my mom, all she says is for me to tend them. She needs her car back and that she's going to die. Do you recognize the people being discussed as being related to the defendant?
Yes.
Okay. And who are they?
Janita was a girl that she was with,
Okay.
and Victoria is like the sister of somebody. I really don't remember. It's like a family member, like a cousin of the family or something.
Okay. Could you tell that there was a connection specifically to the defendant and not from some other random person in this case?
Yes.
Okay. And then it goes down. She asks, how's your fam? I seen you on court walking in with your hair down, LOL. But whatever you want to ask, feel free. I love you, Mia Moore, 143, always and forever.
Yes.
There? I want to briefly move through this. Page 3, it's the portion written in pen. If you scroll to it, it's going to start with La Amor de mi vida and then mi gordita hermosa up at the top. Do you see that? There's also a portion that would be blacked out. Do you see that? You'll have to unfold it, ma'am.
Yeah.
Well,
Here.
I thought that was criminal code, but okay. See, I'm learning all the things. I was such a goody two-shoes in high school and most of my life. I had these grand plans when all of the kids got out of school that I was or out of the house, that I was gonna go wild and maybe go to some raves. But I realize I'm an inside cat, and that's okay. Oh, that's cute. How does Stacy, 19-year-old Stacy, know about a pager? I feel like that's the biggest mystery of the case thus far.
You're on the page? Okay. Talks about, I'm going to summarize some of this. I love you. I know you hate me. It eats me alive how much I've loved you. Honestly, I'll never love anyone like you. I reread your letter day and night. I ain't shit the part where you wish you never met me and you were sorry for using me because you were hurt. Got me thinking if it was even love. My love was pure with you. Goes on to talk about that she wanted nothing else but to love you and treat you like a queen. That she fought hard to change and be better. It hurts so fucking bad to hear that you hate her. So I heard about that fake ass lewd baby and your dumb ass lady made I broke that shit apart with her ugly STD having ass. Is that another example of where she is accusing you of cheating on her in jail?
Yes.
Okay.
Why did she call someone a blue baby? Look, if that was a slur, I did not know. And I apologize to any, turquoise people out there, people of, cyan, I guess, or cyan. I don't know. What the hell is she talking about? None of this. Okay, you guys, I am obviously getting loopy tired. So, because it's 10 o'clock, like normal people, not screwed up time. Y'all, I'm without words. Let's give it 10 more minutes because I think I might. We're at least getting to 9 o'clock. Daylight savings time will not defeat me. I'm going to be like Shia LaBeouf. We will not be defeated by daylight savings time. He will not divide us. Daylight savings time will not divide us.
Go get one, bro, because these bitches, she fucked you something, shake my head, happy I ain't fuck with them, but I ain't write you to talk shit, even though she just talked shit. Is that fair? Okay. And then...
Also, has anyone been in our female prison system? Is it just like everyone's finger banging everyone else? And other banging? I mean, is it just like a Girls Gone Wild chick grab fest in there? Because I didn't realize that there were so many heifers that were thirsty for Stacy and Hosanna and I mean, there are just a lot of thirsty women in prison, I guess.
She goes, after I don't write you to talk shit, well, low key, LOL, because you about to make that old ass bitch get pimp handed. Is she quite being scared? LOL.
Did we just, if you had pimp handed on your case bingo card, that's again, if you had pimp handed on your bingo card for this trial, you may or may not have a bingo.
Well, JK, I'm actually being nice. And then laugh my fucking ass off. Nah, as a whole, as a lie, I've been so mean. It's so funny. It's only because she think you in love with her. Again, is that accusing you of cheating on her?
Right.
During this time at the jail, was she controlling?
Yes.
Okay. She says she only hated me because I guess you told her all kinds of fucked up shit out me that apparently everyone knows. I just think it's crazy how the excuse you gave for cheating was that he was all that you knew and this and that, and laugh my fucking ass off. But you go fuck nasty ass JS's? Honestly, all respect lost. That hoe is over here talking about you like y'all married or something about how you was all in love and shit's embarrassing. And it's embarrassing her. Laugh out loud. She said she only hated me because I guess you told her all kinds of fucked up shit out me. Apparently everyone knows. I just think it's crazy how the excuse you gave for cheating was that he was all you knew. Go on. You're fucking with some shorty, fucking around, want to believe all the shit that she was saying, but regardless of that, you shouldn't settle for a bitch. I like to think you're worth more than this bitch. Talks about how you piss her off. I miss you, and then the same sentence says, I miss you.
I mean, Stacy, you're throwing what would be termed as mixed signals over here. Like, look, go deal with the nasty heifer with all the STDs and the dump truck face. But, you know, all this and a bag of Fritos. Thank you, JKD Buck. Thank you. I needed to pray harder for the asteroid of sweet release to come, soon. They breed, they vote, they share the highway with you at 80 miles per hour. Sleep well and sweet dreams.
You more than the whip. I officially say I love you, and then she says, but clearly you don't give a fuck and I'll be missing you 24/7. Right?
Right.
General summary?
Yes.
Okay. Any doubt that portion is written by the defendant?
No.
Okay. Going to the next page, just briefly, again, I'm going to clarify it. It starts with, but sometimes. Do you see that up at the top, ma'am?
Yes.
But sometimes I think that you don't remember who I was when I looked into your eyes. I see no more love, like it was just nothing. Hearing your voice felt so good. It's crazy how I'm willing to lose it all, but you couldn't even be loyal like anyone else's mindset would have been to fuck that bitch. It's like that, then a fucked up letter. Like, bro, I'd be feeling some type of way. I still wrote you a whole ass love letter because I want you to keep your head up, but
This woman's gratuitous use of the phrase whole ass is possibly my spirit animal. I am now going to try to use the phrase whole ass in my life as much as I can.
I want you to understand how much I love the way it felt when I was apart from you. You had me crying like a bitch. I felt like my whole life was ripped apart from me, not even my own mom get that kind of hold on me. You're the love of my life, dude. I was supposed to be with you forever. You were supposed to love me like I love you. All I want is you through all this bullshit, right?
Right.
So she's saying in this letter that all she wants you to do is be done with this.
Right.
Or through it.
Yeah.
Okay? Is you through all this bullshit. All I want is you to be happy. And if that means I got to deal with Fetty, then fuck it. Cause for you, baby, hell and back, thick and thin all day, no matter what, even though you a stupid bitch. Laugh my fucking ass off.
Okay, I love you with my whole heart, even though you're a dumb heifer. Like, the whiplash I'm getting from this, I can't imagine why Stacy doesn't succeed in romantic relationships. I love you. Like you're my whole ass soulmate. Also, if you want to go sleep with that nasty, disease-ridden, heifer, well, then I'm laughing my A off. This has so many twists. It's just like an M. Night Shyamalama movie.
I love your stupid ass, Ma. Tell that bitch, and then the N-word. Right? Okay. And then it says.
Oh, wait.
Then
A or hard R? A or hard R? Because I think we need to see if Stacy is an istophobe, but I'm pretty sure she cannot say that in current lingo. I believe Kendrick Lamar said we are not even allowed to use that word, even if we're rapping one of his songs.
does it start talking, I guess, bad about Hobby?
Yes.
Okay. And does it say, I still hate him, LOL. I check this out. No matter if you see it or not, you will one day, that N-word will never love you like I do. I'm crazy, but when it comes to you, I'll drop anything and anyone, blood or not. Yeah?
Yes.
Every single one of them, MFS, love. You're the only reason my heart is still pumping. Without you, see no point in anything. You're my weakness.
I mean, at this point, the fact that your heart is still pumping is a blessing, Stacy, and make better life choices.
My strength, all in one. I just wish you realized how much I love you. Right?
Right.
And then does it go on specifically to deal with the fact that it says, I fought so hard to be the only one for you. I got my mama over here crying, saying I chose you over her, that I chose you over my whole fam, and TBH, I don't regret it at all. This love I got for you is out of this world, bro. The promises I made when I gave you that ring,
Okay.
I plan.
JKD Buck, does that make Hosanna Princess Peach? Because I have a couple of issues with that. And I mean, yeah, I mean, don't we all just wish to be someone's whole ass soulmate one day? TBH, to be honest. Young man, it's time for you to go to bed. All right, you guys, it seems that I have to go be on iPad duty because someone is using the fact that I'm still on to be up about an hour after his bedtime. So I have to go do mom confiscation of electronics. But we will be back with more Doogie Howser reads rap lyrics and a condemnation of the entire education department. The whole ass education department in Colorado needs to be indicted after these letters. The Greeley public school system needs to come to the front of the congregation because I have some questions. But thank you guys for joining, and I will see you guys in the morning for Mornings with Mo. Looks like Wendy Williams, Wendy Williams needs some help. But there you go. Yes, a whole ass case tomorrow, fam. Bye, you guys.